Hi, everyone, and welcome to a special edition of RPG Short Shots, a gathering of nerdy gamers from all walks of life who come together and play Dungeons and Dragons. If this is your first time watching the Games Tavern, hi, and thank you so much for joining us. I invite you to follow Games Tavern because they're awesome and do all kinds of really great things. It's free, it supports the show, the cast, and the crew. We're gonna get rolling shortly, but we do have a few announcements to make, so I'm gonna pass this off. I'm really excited.
So in case you haven't heard, this is a charity stream to feed hungry kids. The Games Tavern team has partnered with No Kid Hungry to raise money, and you will see when you go to donate that there are options for giving inspiration to the characters if you donate $10 or $20 using the donation link. This weekend for No Kid Hungry, each $1 raised provides up to 10 nutritious meals to hungry kids, but it gets better. You can donate and get stuff too. Shard Tabletop has created a donation super bundle for everyone who donates $100 or more. You get a sub to Shard Tabletop, we're big fans by the way, and a whole lot of bonus content, maps, and more from Kobold Press, CZ RPG, The Goblin Explorer, Dragonshorn Studios, Tabletail Games, and CZ Piku. Probably worth more than $100 easily. And that's not all. There are so many additional donation incentives from D&D Beyond, Kobold Press, Die Hard Dice, Overhead Games, Miniature Market, and Incarnate. We also have a giveaway if Mark wants to talk about that.
We have a giveaway. We are giving away an epic character generator from our sponsors at Overhead Games. The raffle for the package will begin shortly, and we'll continue to take entries until the end of the stream when we pick a winner. Details on how to enter when we hit the break. You must be a follower to enter and must be present in chat when the drawing is made for the staff to contact you.
All right. Thank you. Before we get started, let's have everybody introduce themselves, tell us quickly where we can find you on social media, and then please describe the character that you're playing. So we'll go in order on my screen, how we're all on Zoom, not necessarily on there. So Mark, you're up first. Brian, you're next.
Okay. Okay, I'm Mark. I'll be playing Irma Allergic today. Irma is a goblin. He's small of stature, lithe, carries around a big stick and a short bow. Wears just light clothing, but the most noticeable thing about him is that he's covered constantly in what looks like yellow pollen, like from trees. It's just covered like head to toe in it, and seems to be incredibly allergic to it. He's got like red eyes, always tearing up. He's got like a runny nose constantly, and just all around looks miserable.
So yeah, my name is Brian. I'll be playing Martinimus today. He's a little gnome that's just kind of eclectically dressed. He basically has some 80s aviator shades on for goggles, and some green robes, a green turban, some pretty nifty little gray and white shoes. Yeah, he's just kind of decked out and ready to go.
Awesome. Let's do Turner and then Rain.
Hey, everybody. My name's Turner. I am from the Gimme the Loot podcast. You can find us at GMDLcast on Twitter. I'll be playing Skip to End, a human cleric of Kelemvor. Skip is a father of two, exterminator by trade, eternal optimist, and priest of death. He's pretty hard to pick out of a crowd, pretty standard, 6 foot, kind of slightly pale, black hair, super thick dad mustache, rocking the dad bod under some splint mail. And he has solid black irises, which is the one thing that kind of stands out about him, hinting that he was born in the Shadowfell originally and is just a little shadow touched.
All right, I am Rain. You can find me on Twitter at Rotia1. That's ROHTIA1. I am going to be playing Alasha Sarkwill. She is a wood elf ranger and beekeeper who produces artesian honey.
Love it. Last but not least, Chilp, you're up.
Hi, everyone. My name's Chilp. You can find me on Twitter at Poper_Chilp. And today I'm going to be playing Chara, who is a satyr paladin, Order of the Ancients. And the first thing you notice about Chara is how much greenery she's proudly embellished in. Her chainmail armor has vines weaved through many of the links, and there are patches of moss that are covered around many parts. She has a lean stature, but clearly carries a lot of power in her legs, which are shown to match that of a goat because she's a satyr. And she has tan skin and a slender and stoic-looking face with her ears pointed downwards. And her horns are spiraled outwards, but are also covered with vines and a silver cap at the ends. And she's just a very calm presence.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, everyone. I am Rosie. You can find me online at Rosie_games at Twitter, which is where I mostly am. And I run a show. It runs mostly every Wednesday at, my goodness, 12 p.m. EST. It's called Sip Happens. I drink tea with people who are nerdy and we talk about nerdy things. So that's been really fun. Today's game is called Until Only the Truth Remains. So let's step into our character's shoes or not, depending on what race you are. You might not be wearing any. And I will give you a little information. Of course, y'all, please, 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 if you're watching and you're able to donate, not only are you helping hungry kids get some food, you're also helping maybe them, maybe my players, maybe me. And honestly, I've got to say, I'm excited about all of that as well. Our story begins in a town called Vradke. It is a mostly orcish run town, but there are lots and lots of different races of people. This has become a safe haven, a place for anyone who has been outcast at any point in their life. It has also become a safe haven for those who maybe are on the run for one reason or another. Your characters can decide if that's them or not. But it is become a very diverse, very welcoming town. As long as you don't harm anyone within it, you are welcome to stay there. The mayor of this town, her name is Zimda the Merciful. She is a pretty lithe-looking orc. She has purplish gray skin. Her hair is mohawk style, this grayish black color down the center, tied and braided in the back. She has pretty long tusks with lots of different rings and jewels hanging out of them. But she dresses pretty plainly, usually wearing just like some leathers and some basically like tan colors. And she has put out a call. The nation in which you are residing, has been at war for many, many years now. And it is getting to the point where the town you're in is no longer a safe haven. Folks have come in and destroyed things in the night, and she has had about enough of it. There have been rumors that deep within the Whispering Knoll Wood exists a stone table up on a hill. This stone table is said somehow to magically hold an item that will cause those around to only be able to tell the truth. And she would like this as peace treaties and peace negotiations begin. She wants to ensure that everyone who's there is honest, is truthful, and sets about their true goals. With that, she put out a call for volunteers to come and help go on this quest. It is dangerous. There is no guarantee you'll come out alive, and even worse, there's no guarantee you'll find what you're looking for. But it is her last and final hope to help end this war peacefully. You all, for whatever reasons you've decided, have answered the call and find yourselves on this gloomy afternoon within the plain but prominent city hall of Vradke. Zimda and those who, and her, that's what I'm looking for, her the word is, bodyguards. There we go. Zimda and her bodyguards are sitting up front as you all enter. Let's have everybody just roll a d20 for me, and we'll go highest to lowest. This is the order you enter, and the order you can, we'll do role play. So everybody go ahead and just roll a d20, and let me know what we got. We'll start.
Irma. Sorry.
2?
Yeah.
Cool. Martinmas, what'd you get?
I'm at an 8.
8. All right. Skip.
13.
Nice. Going right in order. Thanks, y'all. Elisha.
13.
Okay. And Chara. Oh, you're muted, my friend. Which is fine.
An 18.
An 18. Wow. Well, that works out well. Chara, you arrive first. You find the guard lets you in. The guard at the front door lets you in. And you find Zimda sitting in a plain wooden chair up at the front of this probably 25, 30 foot long, maybe about 25 feet wide city hall.
So the guard has let me in, correct?
Yep.
So I just, I walk forwards and I ask, pardon, but are you Zimda the Merciful?
Well, yes, I am. Are you here in response to my call for adventurers?
I am indeed. My name is Chara and I am of the Spruce Hill Woods. It's a pleasure to meet you.
And you look like you've been removed for a bit from society. That's smart. What brings you here today?
I'm here in hopes of finding a way to end this war. It's cost a great toll on the lands that I hail from. The woods are being tarnished in the process of all this war going on, and I really want to put an end to it. And so hopefully this magical item that you seek and the treaties that are going about can put a stop to the battles, and all the woodlands are being torn apart in the process of the war, and I want the creatures that I represent to be at peace.
It is a noble cause that brings you here, Chara. And just as she's beginning to kind of take in all of what you said, the doors swing open again, and stumbling in are 2 other folks. So we have Skip and Elisha kind of at the same time arriving. And Zinda looks up over your shoulder, Chara. More folks answering the call, I believe.
Oh, hey there. Skip to end. I believe you placed an ad.
Yes, across the lands. We've been looking for folks who are interested in going on an adventure. Chara here is the first to arrive. Skip, welcome. And who might you be? She gestures to you, Elisha.
I am Elisha Squirrel. And yes, not necessarily interested in the adventure, but definitely interested in if I can help stop this war.
Yes, it has been quite tiresome. The land's ruined. Well, welcome. Get acquainted with each other. You will be relying on each other quite heavily over the next however long it takes you to be successful, I suppose. And she gestures to a series of chairs that are laid out, sat out for you all.
I take a seat and I just shake both of their hands. It's a pleasure to meet you both.
Nice to meet you.
Hey, how you doing? Skip to end. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
As soon as you all sit down or make yourself comfortable in that area, the door opens again, and then gnomish gentleman makes his way into the room, cool shades on.
Yeah, he approaches. He's kind of just looking around, just wondering kind of what's going on, and just heads up to the front, not really sure where to go.
Zinda waves as you approach. Hello and welcome in. I'm Zinda. Vajrak is my city here, and welcome. Are you here for the ad? In response up yet?
Yeah. I'm here. I'm here for the cause. Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
Well, wonderful. These folks over here have also been called to help, feel free to associate yourselves with them, get to know them as you'll be traveling together.
Beautiful. Is this all the people in the room? Is there anybody in any other? This is everybody. Okay. I'm just going to go over here and talk to them.
Yes, I was hoping for a bigger turnout. And you see that there are maybe 20 or so chairs set up around the room at this point, with only 3, now 4 spots being filled. And she just kind of nods. And as you make your way over, she leaves you. What might your name be, gnomish gentleman?
Martinimus.
Martinimus, wonderful, wonderful. And then the door swings open one last time as a goblin makes their way into the room.
Irma just walks in, stomps in, no pretense or courtesy, just stomps in, the pollen kind of flying around me as I move, and it settles back on me, and I just walk up to the person in charge and say, all right, look, let's just skip all the pleasantries, right? I'm here because you need something done, and I need a way to break this curse on me, see? So I'm the guy you need. I'm the guy who's going to get it done, or I'm the guy who's going to dodge, right? So, right, so you point me in the right direction, yeah?
Wonderful. I do need your name for just legislative purposes, but the rest of the folks who've responded are over here.
All right, Irma's my name.
Wonderful. You watch as one of the bodyguard scribes on the side begins to writing on a scroll. She waits and waits a few more minutes before she kind of takes a deep breath. Well, I guess you're the first round of folks going in. We'll send them in waves. I would not want to send everybody in at one time. That's please step forward. You will be signing a waiver here. If anything happens to you, any limbs, anything you love and value, that is not the responsibility of me. That is your own. You're taking that on. Compensation will be given on a successful return from your journey, and please make sure you have any wills written out just in case you don't come back. We know what to do with your stuff. I'll send something to your family. She kind of pushes forward 5 separate scrolls, and there's a quill at each one for each of you to sign. Any questions, concerns, or hesitations that are in your minds right now?
Irma just wipes snot off of his nose that was running, grabs a quill, signs an X on paper.
Lovely. Alrighty.
Right, it's official then, right? All right.
Okay. Well,
No, I'm going to be looking through the waiver, I suppose. Is there anything like any hidden stuff? I'm assuming not, but
go ahead and make an investigation check for me as you kind of read through and try to find any fine print that might be linking you to some sort of curse or promise that you didn't originally intend.
I'd like to offer up that, hey, gang, if anybody needs help with their estate paperwork there, let me assure you that the Church of Kellenvor gets a bulk rate on wills and death certificates. We can totally take care of you. Just let me know. The old skipper's got you taken care of.
do you have a card by chance?
Oh, I absolutely do. Thank you. So it's more of a pamphlet about the role of the inevitable cessation of your life in your life and afterlife. But here you go. And I will produce a Church of Kellenvor. Have you heard the word about Kellenvor pamphlet?
And I rolled a 17 on my investigation check.
Yeah, it basically just says that this is of your own volition. You're not being forced to do this, that you, upon success, will receive a small sum. If you die, that's your own thing because you volunteered to do this. They're not responsible. Your family can't come and ask them for money on your death or anything like that.
Cool. I just sign it off.
All right. Everybody signs?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Perfect. Your papers are collected, and she steps forward and says, again, the Whispering Knoll Wood is where this is rumored to be. It is warded and well protected from all of the research we've been able to do thus far. I wish you the very best of luck, and if we don't hear from you in a couple of weeks, we will send out Wave 2 to either find you and bring you back or collect what remains. Thank you again for doing this on our behalf.
Aren't you optimistic?
What's your passive insight?
That would be a 17.
You get the feeling that you are not the first folks who've journeyed out this way, that this is an ongoing attempt that she has made in order to help save her space here. So, yeah. That's that. With that, she kind of just
really
looks
quickly. She said
yeah,
that she's sent us in waves, right? Like groups in waves. So I'm just going to ask, can we expect anything unexpected or to surprise us on the way?
Oh, very much so. Absolutely. There's all kinds of creatures that live within the wood. And again, there are wards and it's well hidden. So I would expect traps or something along the way. Absolutely. But as far as my people go, they've either died or returned. So you shouldn't have to worry about that too much.
Wonderful. Thank you.
You are very welcome. Best of luck. May the gods shine upon you. May you be successful. And with that, she kind of sits back down and her two bodyguards hand her the paperwork that you signed, and she kind of just waits for you all to head out. As long as you are all willing, you head out. The Whispering Knoll Woods are not too hard to find. They're about an hour north of the city. So during this time, if there's anything you'd like to role play, chat with each other, feel free to do such. If not, we can get you started. All right.
So I'm actually going to be looking at the pamphlet. Is there anything that Skip would like to?
Of course.
Well, as you know, everybody dies. It's inevitable. No matter how good you are at your job, eventually the slow inevitability of death comes creeping and knocking at your door. And the important thing to remember is the Church of Kellenborg is there for you to help usher you into that next realm. So that's what we're here for. Like she mentioned, the other groups had either died or returned. That's generally the ideal scenario. If they return and die, bad. Died and then return, also bad. That's what the Church of Kellenborg does. We make sure that that balance is really staying there.
Fascinating. Now, does the church offer services to like woodland creatures and creatures who are clearly in devastation from the wars?
Oh, absolutely. We do not restrict ourselves just to people that die. Death is a universal concept. Even at some point, the universe itself will approach a point where it sinks into a giant gravity well and ceases to exist. That's the nice thing about being a priest of death. It's job security all the way.
What will the church do once the universe folds into itself?
I imagine turn off the lights and finally take a break.
Interesting.
All right. As you continue to walk together towards this destination, you find yourself at the outskirts of the Whispering Knoll Wood. Even from where you're standing, you can see the trees are thick and dense. Not a lot of sunlight is coming through to reach the forest floor. Those of you who are inclined to nature, you do hear all of the natural sounds that you would expect. You hear birds chirping, squirrels and chipmunks chittering. So there's, at this point, none of you are getting an uneasy feeling about the forest itself. Again, those of you who are nature-based, which are a lot of you, actually. A lot of you have chosen nature-based creatures, which I love. But you... the journey is yours. What would you all like to do as you hit the outskirts of the woods?
Do we have a general? Do we have a general idea of where we're headed to in the woods? Was there any kind of guidance as far as like, hey, go to the spooky hill on the left, or is it just let's head deep into the woods until things start happening?
It is that. There is no one well, none of you asked, but To her knowledge, no one has found anything that would indicate that there's a particular direction to go in. She didn't offer that up at the very least. So,
Are there any natural landmarks like a mountain, or can I do maybe a history check to see if there's any old
yeah, you can do
ruins or anything?
history or survival if you would like, or nature. History, survival, or nature. I'll give you any of them.
I'm a little bit better at survival, so let's go that route.
All right, go for it.
It's an 18.
Okay. So you take into account some of the information you already have of the area, as well as just kind of by glancing. You can tell kind of from where you're at that it does appear that the trees head in an upward fashion, indicating perhaps there's a hill maybe a mile or half a mile into the forest. You can hear even from where you are, or I will say that there's a stream that runs through this space as well. That's supposedly a little bit further and maybe 2.5, 3 miles into the woods.
Okay.
Outside of that, it's pretty much unexplored land.
Well, hey, what do you guys think? The old skipper's a bit of a city boy, if you don't mind me saying. That's a tree. I know that much. But other than that, I would say let's go check out the high ground. But I'd love to hear what y'all think.
The high ground does sound like a good place to start. If nothing else, we might be able to get the lay of the land from there.
Yeah. This sounds great to me. Super excited about it. I think this is a great idea. I think we're headed in the right direction. Of course, that direction is also good.
I'm not much of a city girl, but whatever the entire group decides, I'm all for, as long as we get to where we need to go.
All right. Who is taking point on this?
I'll take point.
Beautiful. What would you like to do, Elisha, as a way of guiding the group through the woods? If there's anything in particular, what do you think she would do?
Well, since one of my favorite terrain types is forest, I will lead us by going through the natural game trails, heading up on the incline that the ground seems to go.
Okay, beautiful. What check would you like to make for that one? That'll determine if you succeed or fail what happens. This is nature, survival, perception. I will allow any of those for that.
I will do, let's go survival.
All right, beautiful. Go ahead and make a survival check then for me. $26. Well done. All right. You kind of examine the outskirts here of the forest, and you find a not terribly well-worn, but a clear path in. And you guide the group onto that path and begin to weave your way into the Whispering Knoll. As you do, a couple of things with that 26 that you noticed. First and foremost, there are humanoid prints on the ground, but you gather that they're relatively old. This path hasn't been used in quite some time. You also see lots and lots of animal prints. Some you recognize, some you don't, but none of them look menacing. You don't see any like large creature prints or anything that strikes fear in you. You wander for about a mile when you begin to see what Skip had discovered earlier, which is the hill. There's a gradual incline indicating that there's a hill coming up, and the path begins to razor back its way up a larger hill as you continue. The rest of you, as you wander through, you don't get there's no indication, any unsettling feelings. As you get to the top of the hill, I will accept two perception checks, or one person with advantage if another person wants to offer advantage. So who would like to perceive the things?
Yeah, I don't. Oh, that's fine.
If you want to team up, we can
Yep.
do.
Gladly help you out.
All right, so it sounds like Martimus is offer. How do you offer advantage to Chara? What does your character do?
I guess I can, because I've got some. I let her borrow my shades, which are technically the eyes of the eagle.
Beautiful. All right, so you pass off your cool aviators.
Try and find a way to put them on. I have horns, so I'm like trying to make sure that they don't break while I put them on. Trying to. These are really interesting. And I put them on.
Beautiful. All right, go ahead and roll with advantage for us.
Wait, a 10? Yeah.
All right.
I don't think they worked for me.
Yeah, you have them like resting on your horns and downwards, so they're kind of like this. And instead of helping, they make everything like odd angles, and like distance is kind of a little bit off as you look through them. Nothing jumps out at you as you begin to examine from the top of the hill. And at this point, you get the feeling that you're about maybe a half mile up. It was quite the trek, and those of you who don't normally get out, you're feeling a little winded as you reach the top. Those of you who are who walk a lot through the woods or through the city, you're fine. But if your character is more of an indoor type, it's tough. But as you kind of get there and look around Chara, nothing jumps out at you. You see more trees. You see what appears to be healthy woodland creatures. The trees are healthy as well. What would the group like to do? At this point, just so y'all know, with the amount of time you've traveled, it is late afternoon. So the sun is not quite at its apex. It's kind of begun to arc over. You still have plenty of hours of daylight ahead of you, but it definitely is leaning towards the latter half of the day.
Seems that we're so far on the right path. Should we continue onwards?
Yeah, I say keep on keeping on. Does anybody want some trail mix or anything? I brought some snacks. I normally pack snacks for the boys, and I will pass out afternoon snack to everyone as we continue along.
Beautiful. Everybody takes a few moments, drinks some water, eats some of the snacks that Skip has offered. You're feeling a little bit refreshed, and because of that, I will allow another perception check. So, as you kind of sit, relax, get your wits about you again. If somebody else would like to make a perception check, they can, either 2 or 1 with advantage. It's up to you all.
I mean, I can do it this time, and I get advantage anyways.
Okay. For it.
That's going to be a 22.
22. All right. Feeling a little bit nourished from the trail mix that Skip handed out, refreshed from the water. You take another look around, and kind of tucked away, there's a little bit of a clearing that you all are in, and tucked away into by one of the trees, there's a stump, and you notice that there's some etch marks on the stump.
Trail mix, delicious, by the way. Some stuff over here on this rock, or on this stump.
The secret is the peanut brittle. You sneak a little bit of peanut brittle in there. It just does wonders for you. The stump, you say?
Martimus. Why is this so hard for me? Martimus. I don't know. I'll blame it on my dyslexia. So, do you know the language Sylvan?
No, he does not. He just knows common and gnomish.
All right, so you look at it, and it looks like it's not random. It's not just like somebody took their dagger out and just got bored and idly carved in there. There seems to be purpose, but the symbols that you see on there are foreign to you.
Yeah. I can't make anything out of this. Maybe somebody who's, maybe got some experience with this. Why don't you guys take a look at this?
All right.
We'll head over and take a look.
I too will head over. and look at it.
If any of you understand the language Sylvan, let me know. If not, all right.
I am Sylvan.
I'm so sorry. You don't?
I do.
Oh, you do. All right. So everyone gathers around, but Elasha and Chara, you are the two who do not see just random symbols. You see a series of words written out. And what you are reading, as you kind of spin around this stump, you watch as it starts at the top and then spins around downwards. It says, "Seek your destination, and you will be lost. But focus on the journey, and all will be revealed." And I'll type that into our Zoom chat for y'all because I know it's a lot. I spelled one word wrong. All right. Y'all, does this group have any sort of inspirations? Are we sending? We've got some here. I just got a list from Reed. Let's see. I'm gonna figure this out. Would you like to have inspiration? Turner, you have an inspiration D6. For me, you can use it to any D20 roll, and I'll also allow you to use it to add to damage if you would like to do that. So any D20 roll, you can add a D6 to it, or you can use it as a bonus damage item.
Hey, okay.
Beautiful. Awesome. Thank you so much, anonymous donor, for that. I am certain Skip will benefit. All right, so that is what the two of you are able to read. I put it in chat, in our Zoom chat for y'all.
I will make sure to read that out to the group as I stand there pondering the riddle.
At face value, it looks like that we should just focus on how we get there versus what there is. But I don't know what beyond that. What it's looking for.
Is it first Skip will start quietly humming "Don't Stop Believing," and then the other thing, maybe we're not supposed to look. Maybe we're supposed to look down at the path. Maybe there's something, maybe something magical would confuse us. Maybe we're supposed to look at the road.
That's a possibility.
Skip's very literal.
I respect that, Skip.
Martinimus actually starts singing the words to the song.
Martinimus is getting a guidance later.
Beautiful.
Would any of the footprints that we would have seen before, indicated or been in parallel with what this riddle says?
Ah, there we go.
So you consider the footprints that you had followed, and as you kind of look around from up here, considering the riddle, considering Martinimus's role as he looked around as well, it's oddly, there are no paths, but footprints go off in all directions, heading out of this or off of this hill. Anyone with a passive perception, 15 or higher, you would notice that there are several outcroppings of wildflowers kind of at the base or at the top of this hill. Bees are moving in and out, flying around. Butterflies are flying around. Just flying, going from these flowers to their homes to kind of flit about into the woods.
Well, I am stumped. Hey,
Alasha's gonna just not even really paying attention, wander off to the wildflowers and slowly follow some of the bees.
Right. Elasha, as you kind of just follow them, you see a couple of footprints, a series of footprints moving in the same direction which you're going. And the wind around you feels warm. It feels welcoming and comfortable. And you haven't felt that really thus far in your adventure. What are the rest of you doing as Elisha sort of wanders off?
She's kind of the nature. She's the ranger, right? I'm sorry,
Yep.
Alicia.
Yep.
Yeah, Skip's totally gonna just trail along behind her. She seems to know completely what she's doing. So I will give her a respectful distance. She looks like she's having a moment with the bees, but then follow along as she goes.
Yeah, Chara recognizes a kindred spirit in the fact that she's nature bound as well. So she's gonna like Skip, give her distance and kind of let her be in this sort of trance or moment that she's in, and just hope that whatever epiphany that she might have kind of helps us all out.
Oh. Irma, you've been quiet this whole time. What are you doing?
Irma's just standing around this stump, and Irma I take my trail mix I was given her, and I pour it on top of the stump. And I just, without using my hands so I don't get pollen on the food, I start eating it off the stump, licking it with a tongue. And I'm like, hey, wait, I think I figured it out. I think this is the table right here. We did it, right? That's it. It's the table.
It was a nice try. I mean, that's one way to think about it.
All right, Martimus, are you following the group, or are you watching Irma just lick trail mix off of the stump?
Totally had zoned out and watched Irma eat this food off the stump.
All right. Well, the three of you, or the two of you who are following Elisha, you also begin to feel this warm breeze blanket you, almost like like a blanket out of the dryer. It feels comfortable. It feels welcoming, and it is a newer sensation. You have not felt this in your journey so far up to the top of the mountain or hill.
Well, this bit seems a little bit friendlier than the rest, and I can't say that's a bad thing. Do you think we should get the fellas, the stump kids to get going with us?
Yes, call them over.
Yeah, call the stump kids over.
Gentlemen, I first of all thank you for respecting the trail mix. I really do appreciate it. Could y'all come on?
Yeah, I'll just kind of tap Irma and bring him along.
Yeah, it's now I finish eating my trail mix. And I don't really think it's just a table. I think you might get a mistake, but I'll come up.
I mean, anything can be a table if you put something on top of it and eat off of it, I guess. So I don't disagree with your logic, but I'm not sure you're going to find what you're looking for. All right.
So is there any sort of, you're saying we're kind of blanketed in this warm comfort aura, I'm assuming is what you're trying to say. So is there any kind of indication of what it is, or is there a way to find out what it might be from?
As somebody who I assume has a nature-based deity that you worship, you have experienced this before. This is a sign from above that you are on the path you need to be on, that you are you're following what you're supposed to be doing. It feels similar to that. Like
so it's not like a tricky, like it's not like a trick. It feels very.
No, it feels like maybe one time your character maybe saved a baby bird that had fallen out of the tree, and you got it. Your god welcomed you with good grace, like that you were, something similar like that. Yeah. All right, so this means that Elisha is up front. Is there anything you would like to specifically do? The bee just begins kind of, it's flying kind of haphazardly until eventually you see it kind of fly up into a hive.
High is the hive?
I would say maybe about 5 feet or so up, just wedged in between a couple of branches on a tree.
She's gonna stand there staring at the hive for a few minutes. And to be honest, she's debating whether to get a bit of the honeycomb to taste the honey to see if she should be starting her own hives in this area with those flowers or not.
There's a good chunk of honey. I mean, there's a bit of honey that can drip down the tree, so you wouldn't even have to destroy the hive or anything.
Oh, okay, yeah. So she's definitely tasting the honey as she stands there.
It is a beautiful wildflower honey, and you can even see it's got this like reddish, like this slightly reddish hue to it from some of the wildflowers in the area. And as you're doing this, you watch as 2 bees exit the hive and fly further into the woods.
Well, seems this is a very good choice. Those flowers made some delicious honey. Do any of you want to try it? It's really good.
I'm curious how it would pair with the trail mix.
See, I generally avoid honeys in a mix because they get mucked up in the bag, and then you never know who's going to dump it out, like on a stump, hypothetically in the middle of the.
Well, I wouldn't put it in the bag. I would sprinkle the trail mix.
Oh
into
yes,
honey
yeah. See, there you go.
it.
Now you're thinking. Yeah, you know, I will. I'll give it a dab. I'll give it a little taste here. See. Well, I ready my epi potion in case anybody's allergic to bees. I'm just being careful. I am the healer.
Beautiful. All right, those of you who are interested in trying the honey, it pairs really well with the trail mix. The salty and sweet really balance each other out very nicely. It's an enjoyable afternoon treat.
We want to keep tracking the bees deeper into the forest, gang.
It's worked out so far.
All right.
So I'll keep following the bees further into the forest.
Love it. So you continue to follow, just aimlessly wandering through. You see gorgeous flowers blooming. You hear creatures moving through, happily chittering at each other, maybe a little territorially chittering at each other, but it all seems very like it's supposed to. The warm air continues to surround you, indicating that you are moving in the right direction.
Hey guys, I just have one question I would like clarified. Was it the Whispering Knoll Knoll or the Whispering Knoll Gnoll? Because I'm a little worried it might be one and not the other.
You didn't ever get the spelling or look at a map prior to heading in here, so it could be either way, honestly. You wander through
on the waiver when we read the waiver.
Well, let's see. If anyone is curious of figuring out which one it is, go ahead and make a general intelligence check to see if you can recall what knoll you agreed to go in. What knolled woods you agreed to go into.
Skip, despite not being the brightest bulb, gets a 15.
Oh, 15, that's good. It is Knoll, as you recall from your waiver. So not as scary.
All right. Excellent.
Following the bees into the woods, you wander on for another hour or so, just enjoying the surroundings, telling each other anything you'd like or keeping quiet. And then you begin to get a more uncomfortable feeling, more arcana-based feeling than you have thus far. The bees that you're following make a sharp left and then disappear into the woods, unable to follow them any further. And Elasha, you see in front of you clumps of trees, but as you look at them, it almost feels as though it's repeating itself in an unnatural way, as the woods are random and throughout. These feel like somebody saw a chunk of trees, decided they liked them, and then duplicated it 1,000,000 times over throughout the woods in front of you.
That is very odd.
Those of you who've been listening for birds and other sorts of creatures, you hear as though, have you ever like purchased, this is going to sound terrible. Have you ever purchased like a sound machine that is really cheap and uses like 10 seconds of the same thing, and you could literally hear when it stops and then repeats the same 10 seconds over and over again? That's what's happening around you. It's like you get 10 seconds of the same series of sounds, and then it loops again. 10 seconds loops again, over and over.
Like a broken record that just plays the same part over and over again.
Pretty much, yep. In a very uncomfortable and eerie way, because nature doesn't generally sound like that.
Skip, I hate to tell you, but I think your tremors might go bad right up here. Some weird stuff going on around here.
Oh, yeah, that's entirely possible. I did learn my lesson the one time I incorporated the mushrooms in with it, but after that, I generally tend to stay nut and yogurt based. It could be the yogurt, then possibly.
Cross contamination, perhaps.
I am an exterminator by trade, not chef. So there's an entire. You never know what's in that stuff. So. Can I fire off a dispel magic at one of the clumps of trees just to see what happens?
Sure. What level are you casting it at?
I'm going to go ahead and do it at just a third level.
Okay, go ahead and roll a d20 for me. Do your magic.
Oop, 19.
Okay. As you cast it, you watch as the one chunk of trees begins to ripple. It doesn't disappear necessarily, but you clearly sense that there is magic within that space, for sure.
Hey gang, this forest is trying to pull one over on us, and I don't really quite appreciate it. I think we probably should go poke around in that area a little bit more, huh?
I'm just going to run over and smack at one of those trees with my staff.
Irma, as soon as you cross that line that the couple of bees you were following hard lefted at, you immediately transform into a wolf.
Oh.
Am I aware now that I'm a wolf? Or
Yeah, you're aware enough that you're definitely not in your normal body. That's for sure. You keep your intelligence, your wisdom about you, but you definitely can't talk in a language that you are comfortable and know, and your body is definitely not your own.
I'll probably take a few steps as a wolf before I realize something's wrong, and then I kind of turn around, glance around.
Could you always do that?
Well, he buried the lead on his abilities.
I wasn't aware.
I'll still go
Perhaps
over and
that's why he was eating the trail mix on the
I'll
table.
paw at one of the trees and see if it doesn't. Is it like corporeal?
It does appear to be corporeal. Yeah. Yes. The dispel magic revealed that it was an illusion, some sort of illusion base. But upon touching it, it does feel like a tree. You do notice, though, that as a wolf, as a clumsy, getting used to your new body wolf, that you drag your nails a little bit across it, and it doesn't mark anything. So it doesn't. You don't have nail marks in the tree.
All right. So I will just enjoy being pollen free for this brief moment, or maybe forever. But I'll look for something.
You immediately begin to see pollen, like little flecks of yellow pollen on this wolf's shoulder area.
I try to find something really
it
stinky on the ground, and I start rolling around in it.
Easy enough. As a wolf, you have great sense of smell, but you find a pile of scat, but it doesn't like come off on you. Unfortunately, it probably, much like the trees around you, is
illusory scat.
Yep, illusory scat. What are the rest of you doing as all of a sudden one of your traveling companions magically morphs into a wolf and starts rolling around on the ground as pollen begins to reform on him?
I'm actually going to cast Speak with Animals and see if I can communicate with Irma.
Yeah. So you're staying behind the invisible barrier, like on the Yep. You're able to cast it, and Irma's not too far away. And yeah.
Irma,
Yeah,
what's going on?
I have no idea, but I kind of like it.
So what were you clawing at before?
Well, I was trying to see if that tree was actually a tree, but there's something weird about it. And I was trying to roll around this poo down here, but it's not coming off on me. So there's something weird going on.
So I think I'm a little confused. Skip had cast Dispel Magic, but did that apply to the tree that turned Irma into?
Oh, it wasn't a tree. So there is just this sort of like invisible line on the ground that the bees avoided, where you begin to sense, where you begin to see like out in the distance for as many miles, for as long as your eyes can see, the same chunk of tree over and over again. So when Skip
so if you
cast
cross
that,
over that, okay,
yeah, you get the feeling, yes. So Skip was able to not necessarily completely erase the illusion, but definitely kind of like, when you're watching TV or watching something and it kind of goes in and out for a moment. The bunch of trees that Skip cast that on did that.
And Irma's still on the other side.
To my understanding, he is currently rolling around and disappointed in the results.
Could you come back here for a moment?
Yeah, give me a second. I slowly make my way up and trot over. And I'll say before I get there, I got a mean itch on my belly. If you could give it a rub.
As you begin to trot back, telling Chara about your stomach, you find a wall, an invisible wall that you cannot cross. Right about where. That's up to you whether Irma's running fast enough to snap into it. You can let me know if that's the case. But you said you were sort of trotting along, so I assume that you kind of like
just bump my nose into it.
Yeah.
Oh, I was hoping that if he came back, like he would transform normally. But I guess once you go to the other side,
just kind of bump up against this invisible wall. I think we got a problem here.
Clearly, and I'm assuming everyone else sees this too. All right.
There's a slight ripple in the magic as Irma nudges up against it. Yeah.
So I suppose we need to find a safe way to cross to the other side without hopefully turning into a wolf or something worse. Skip, you're well attuned with crossing over to another side. Do you think that this is something up your alley?
Can I do an Arcana check to kind of get a feel for if he's polymorphed or?
Sure, go for it.
Again, Skip, Skip, not the best at these. Ooh, but that is a nat 20 minus 1 for 19.
Yay, boo. So you kind of taken all of the magic. Irma as a wolf, this wall in front of you, and the Dispel magic you recently cast. And there seems to be... This wall seems to kind of persist in a fashion. And he is not polymorphed. There is a trigger that will... You get the sense that there's a trigger that will change him back. You just need to figure out what that trigger is. But it isn't like a polymorph spell. It isn't, like a wild shape-esque type of thing happening. There's something more bigger to that magic, more dense.
And you said there was a pattern to the way that the trees are laid out. Is it indicative of like a numeric grouping, or hey, these trees spell out wolf or anything like that? Just right off the.
From where you're standing, you wouldn't be able to see that because you can kind of just see, here, and it does carry out. But with your natural 20 minus 1, you get the feeling that there is something more to whatever is there, that there is something purposeful in this, in all of it. But from where you're standing, you can't see like above to see if the trees specifically spell out the word wolf or any other particular hint.
Guys, I think we just gotta jump in there and see what happens, and maybe kind of root around in there.
I'm nervous to cross it, though.
Yeah.
Can I try something as a wolf? If I try to cast like Thorn Whip, does anything happen?
It does not. Your magic seems to, for the time being, be smoldering lightly underneath a like thick adamantine wall of power.
Yeah, Martinimus will just start. He'll just open up his bag. And he'll just start going through it, just tearing everything out. He'll be like, "No, like rations." And like, he'll name off stuff as he's throwing it out. Spare clothes, floating gum. Here it is. He pulls out this like little box. It's kind of like a little detector, and he'll cast. And through that, just reskinning it, he'll cast detect magic, and just kind of as a ritual, and try to get it going and see what's going on around him, so he can kind of get a 360.
Beautiful. So that takes about 10 minutes, right, to ritually cast, or
it takes a few minutes. Yeah.
All right. So you sit down. You watch as Martimus sits down and begins to kind of mutter the incantation that casts the spell. Is there anything that y'all want to do while he's doing that, or we can kind of
Yes.
Yeah, go for it.
While he is doing that, I'm going to be looking up. Can I see can I see atop of this invisible wall?
Not from. I'll say kind of. You can sense that there's, again, much like the record repeat of the sounds, there's almost a repeat of, like Truman Show-esque, like the same car driving by every 10 minutes. Like you see, like the same raven fly, land in the tree. Wait. Flies, lands in the tree. So you get the feeling that that it goes upward as well, like up at least above the canopy to where something can fly. But you're not sure how much higher than that it goes.
Can we kind of trace the perimeter and get a feel for how big an area is affected here?
Yeah, I'd like to bump up against this invisible wall and just start walking in one direction for like 20, 30 feet. And there's still a wall there. Do I hit the wall?
There is, there seems to be a wall there. And I would say that you're all relatively intelligent enough and or have the capacity. And by the time Martimus is done as well, you can all see it's like a big dome. From where you are, as your detect magic kicks into place, there's just this like iridescent pinkish purple dome that kind of extends in a circle. You get the feeling it probably goes for about a mile and a half in each direction from where you're standing, and then loops upward into forming this large dome. You're not sure how far out it goes. That would require you to continue walking the perimeter, but get the feeling it's rather large. Yeah, go for it.
Was the wall itself what caused Irma to turn? We don't know. Okay.
Is Irma on the other side of the wall?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like inside the dome. You're on the outside of the dome. It's like a nice zoo exhibit, except for it's creepy.
Did he transform as soon as he was all the way in?
Or when he touched it?
You got the feeling that it kind of like took place as he was crossing through. So, you might be able to get away with sticking your finger in there, but you're not sure if your finger's going to come back out the other side. So,
is Speak with Animals still going?
Yeah, easy enough.
I'll yell to Chara. Ask Skip to throw some of that more of that trail mix in here.
Oh, better yet, but I got some jerky in here. Are you kidding me? And I will give him.
I start drooling at this mention of jerky.
Yeah, there you go, bud. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?
You can't really pet him, but you're like, he's a good boy. So I'm curious if we were to teleport to the other side without physically crossing the barrier. Is there a way for me to find out if the barrier would affect me versus being in that zone? No, I'm assuming not.
How about Martimus, since you have detect magic up, go ahead and make an intelligence check for me to see if you can kind of glean more information from your check. Irma, also go ahead for me and make an advantage perception check because you are a wolf. So as you kind of sniff around a little bit.
It's only 14.
Okay.
Yeah, I rolled 18.
Okay. Martimus, you get the feeling that as long as you're not landing directly within the space, there's no reason why you couldn't. You're not sure how far it goes, but if you have the capacity to teleport in, large amounts, of space. You could probably get to the other side or walk around it. The transformation that Irma is experiencing hits when you cross through and like physically appear.
Did anyone toss something? Because I was curious if an inanimate object transformed when it came across the barrier. So
I tossed some jerky at him for sure.
Easy enough, Irma. You snatch it up and then begin kind of sniffing around on the ground, moving around. And I would say, with your with you being leading this cause, you get the sense that there's a stronger source of magic coming from somewhere in there, in the center of the space, or towards the center. There's something holding this illusion in place, and this illusion is holding something within it.
I'll confer that feeling to Chara, since she's the one who can understand.
And I will convey what he says to the rest of the group.
Beautiful.
Okay. I would like to try and get a different view on this, so I'm gonna use my class ability, Breathing Tide, and bees are going to crawl out from under my clothes and form like a platform for me, and I'm going to fly up into the air.
All right. How high can you get? Or how high do you want to go? I guess both questions. As you're looking at that, I just want to say hi everyone who just Quest and Chaos just raided. So thank you so much for coming, for joining us for this, and we are raising money to help hungry kids. So please, 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 we only have one inspiration dice out right now for Turner. So the group could definitely benefit from some inspiration dice, and you can help feed some kids. All right, Rain, tell me how high you can go.
It lasts for a minute, and I have a flying speed of 10. So let's go 40 feet into the air.
All right. So you head up about 40 feet, and you're still within that barrier. You're still within the canopy of this forest. But as you look in, you definitely, just because you are also a magical being, you also can feel this reverberation of magic. There is something within this illusion that will dispel this, and this is hiding something important.
Okay. I will fly back down to the ground. So, yeah, I think our best bet is, I think we need to go in.
All right, so we just had one of our cast members just had a power outage, so that is why our screen has just become this right here. Maybe it might be best at this point. It's almost 6:30, so let's take a quick break. Give John a chance to get us all back where we belong, and give our other person a chance. I know we just had a raid. Thank you so much for raiding. But life happens. Power outages happen. Are we good, John? If we take a quick 5-minute break here, give you a chance to get everything going. All right, awesome. Y'all, thank you so much for joining us thus far. Thank you to my wonderful cast here for hanging out as we do some riddles. I promise there'll be a little combat when we get back. But yeah, hang with us for about 5 minutes and we will be right back. Oh yes, we have the announcement. I feel like there's an announcement. Hang on. Charity one shot. Finding it. Mid-show announcements. It's a good time to take a short break. Where are we at with the donations? Turner, of course, is the person who is missing. So who wants to read Turner's thing? I can read it. I think we are at $4,100 right now, which is going to help us feed a lot of kids. 4,000. That's amazing. Who wants to read this? Anybody? Rain? Do you want to read
This is the one that says oh, that's fine.
Yeah, go for it.
So we are feeding hungry kids. The Games Tavern, along with our friends on 6 other streaming channels. have set up a huge charity super stream going on all week and into this weekend right now for No Kid Hungry. Every dollar raised provides up to 10 nutritious meals for hungry kids. So since we are at $4,100, that is up to 41,000 nutritious meals. Shard Tabletop has created a donation super bundle for everyone who donates $100 or more. You get a sub to Sharp Tabletop and a whole lot of bonus content, maps, and more from Kobold Press, CZRPG, I'm Canadian, sorry, Z.
No, you're fine.
The Goblin Explorer, Dragonshorn Studios, Tabletop or Tabletail Games, and Supiku, probably worth more than $100 easily. And that's not all. There are so many more donation incentives from Shard Tabletop, D&D Beyond, Kobold Press, Die Hard Dice, Overhead Games, Miniature Market, and Incarnate.
Beautiful. Y'all, as a reminder, we have a giveaway going on right now. Type exclamation mark epic in the Twitch chat to enter to win an epic character generator to create realistic avatars of your characters from Overhead Games. The raffle for the package will be drawn at the end of the stream. When the winner is drawn and announced live, please make sure you're here to collect your winnings, and we will be right back.
Hello, it's me, Scalathrax, fiend about town and, well, dungeon. And when I'm not murdering new adventurers trying to rob my home, I'm looking for a murder of new 5th edition monsters. So let me tell you about Tome of Beasts 2 from Kobold Press. In Tome of Beasts 2, you'll find monsters for almost every location your heroes might journey. From farmlands to forests, dungeons to deserts, and bustling cities to fantastical planar realms, with an emphasis on my personal favorite, dungeons and the underworld. Tome of Beasts 2 brings you more than 400 new monsters, including angelic enforcers and avalanche screamers, imperial dragons and swordbreaker skeletons, clockwork tigers, void drakes, zombie dragons, death vultures, demon lords, swamp nagas, chameleon hydras, and shriek bats. And my new personal favorite, magma octopi, because what has 8 arms and it's gonna make you roast? Why, magma octopi, of course. To expand your Tome of Beasts 2 experience, you can also check out the Tome of Beasts 2 Lairs book with encounters featuring monsters from Tome of Beasts 2. Or expand your game with Tome of Beasts 2 Pawns, which work with any tabletop grid, map, or terrain. Keep your players surprised, entertained, and terrified with the all-new opponents they've never seen before and won't ever see coming. Or 5th edition at koboldpress.com.
Hey, thanks for watching the show. It looks like you're having a great time. Let me tell you really quick about That Many's Paint Show. Every Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Every show, the host and their guests will be painting miniatures live on stream. They'll walk you through all the different techniques and products they use to paint miniatures to a high standard in a quick and easy fashion. They'll show you all the different things live, and on top of that, the audience gets to ask questions, and we're going to answer them live on stream. If you've always wanted to learn how to paint miniatures, this is a great way to do so. And on top of that, you can paint while you're painting with us too, and chat with us and tell us about your projects and share your pictures of your miniatures as well. We love it when people share their miniatures with us. So remember, That Many's Paint Show, every Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2 p.m. Pacific, only on the Games Tavern Network.
Well, hello there. I'm Nartimus, Archmage of the High Order. And when I'm not busy foiling Scalathrax's plans to destroy the entire world, I'm sending adventuring parties out to scour for new tomes and knowledge of magic. That's why I want to tell you about this. Deep Magic, a tome from Kobold Press. Their kobold minions have traveled the plains seeking the secrets of magic. They've unearthed ancient tomes of forgotten civilizations, bargained dangerously with demons and creatures of the void, and have even scaled the towers of Shadow Fae mages to unlock their secrets. Deep Magic includes such wonderful topics such as dragon magic, elven high magic, Ooh, I've got to get me some of that. Shadow magic, battle magic, and angelic wards. Additionally, it includes such rare knowledge on ley lines, void magic, illumination magic, rune magic, and clockwork magic, as well as topics on time magic, hieroglyph magic, mythos magic, elemental magic, winter magic, and my personal favorite, alchemancy. Now, they pass along their hard-won knowledge to you in Deep Magic, an arcane series for 5th edition. Here you'll find new schools of magic, arcane traditions, new and variant spells, magical feats, spell-slinging NPCs, and so much more. This book is 356 pages of pure magic. This will keep your campaign fresh and your adventurers guessing for years to come. You can buy it now at koboldpress.com.
All right. Hello and welcome back. We are still at our 4100, but I am certain you're all going to give me inspiration dice soon, so that's going to be great. We left off a little bit in a hurry just because one of our fine players had a power outage, but we left off with Elasha on a platform of bees looking into the dome to see what she could glean from that. And Elasha, as you are looking in right before you're ready to descend back down so your bees don't accidentally drop you to the floor of the forest, you all watch as the dome ripples and expands about 10 feet. You are all now within the dome, and you are all now wolves. Elasha, your character falls to the ground. Go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw as your wolf form falls from your bees just disappearing out from under you.
Does that mean I need to make that saving throw with wolf dexterity or my own?
I'm going to give you your own dexterity because I don't think it'll be easy to look up wolf stats right now.
Okay. And sorry, that was a saving throw?
Yes, please.
14.
14, all right. So you were up 40 feet, which means I believe that is 46. 46. So 15, which you can have. So I have down, so 7 points of damage to your character as this wolf, legs flailing, falling 40 feet, hits the ground. You are all now in wolf form. Your magic has completely and totally escaped you. You can feel just the crux of it still, again, kind of like caged up in this adamantine type of vault almost within you. Well, you're not alone anymore, Irma, but you cannot communicate in the ways you are used to. What would you all like to do? Oh, you're muted for me. You're muted, Mark.
I think there's a customary round of sniffing what needs to be done right now.
So awkwardly, instincts of wolves/dogs take over, and you all now can identify each other. Sure. I will say, like, Martimus is a little bit smaller. You still see like some bits of flair of his. Some of you, those of you who are more nature-based, there's like vines or soot that kind of indicates who you all are, and with a helpful button.
My bees are a nature spirit that has attached to me, so would they still be around?
Any type of... I'll say at this point they are dispersing. Not necessarily because they are magic, but because they are within a space that doesn't feel natural to them. So you watch as they like kind of dispersed, and as they try to kind of come back together, they're like feeling uncomfortable, and they begin to kind of try to get out of the dome.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we're discovering all kinds of new smells here, aren't we? This is can I do a little bit of a wolfy investigation check and kind of snuffle around and try and find something?
Yeah, go ahead. You get advantage perception checks for sniffing.
I'm gonna go ahead and use that. Let's see, the Inspro die on this one. So it's another D6. Yeah.
Yep, a D6 that you get to add.
Ooh, yeah. So 24.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for the anonymous person who sent out that inspiration dice to Turner. You watch as wolf form Skip begins to sniff and then suddenly kind of focus in on something, has caught the scent of something. And what you're smelling, Skip, isn't actually like a particular natural, like nature scent, like a creature. What you're smelling is actually arcana based, and you get this, you're drawn to this like heavy scent, this heavy almost like iron based odor that is kind of coming from towards the center of this space, and you begin to follow it. The rest of you in wolf form, what would you like to do?
You said we can't speak to each other as wolves, right? Oh, okay.
Yeah, unfortunately it's just barks and howls.
Yeah, I'll
I
just
will
follow.
howl in the direction of Skip.
Okay.
Like, what's up? What's going on?
I will be following Skip, though, since before that break, I sensed something was toward the center as well.
Correct. All right, Martimus, are you following them as well?
Yeah, Mario follow.
Beautiful. All right, so you all begin to follow as Skip is hot on the trail of something. And as you're kind of following and looking around you, again, you see this like repetitive tree pattern, although it's not necessarily like a number-based pattern or like, dots and dashes, Morse code kind of thing. It just looks like somebody literally saw something they liked and repeated it over and over again in chunks. But as you begin to approach, I will allow everyone, you can make a perception check, but this is with your eyes, so you don't get advantage for sniffing. Because you are now looking around. So go ahead and everybody just roll a perception for me. And if you get above a 16, raise your hand. Two people shaking their head no if they had inspiration dice. All right, we got Skip with his hand, his dog paw raised.
Raise the wolf.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was the number?
16 or better. Close. All right, not quite. Martimus?
Not quite.
I'm assuming that I don't get the advantage of my infusion, so I did not get a 16.
All right, so Turner, so Skip up front, leading the way, sniffing. You kind of get to a point where the smell is overpowering, but doesn't seem to be getting any stronger. So you stop. Your pack stops behind you as you kind of look around, and you notice about 40 feet up in the air, there is a key.
So I guess I will run around in circles underneath the key.
Yep.
Until
It's in a
everybody-
tree, so you see it kind of like hanging off of a thin branch up in a tree.
What's the universal wolf symbol for human pyramid, guys? I don't think I know. No, let's pay attention to me. But, how high up is it? 40 feet up?
30, 40 feet or so, yeah. It's hard to quite tell at the angle, but you can see the sun kind of glinting off of it, hanging there. And then you notice also with your check, as you're doing like a circle around indicating that this tree is important, there is a small keyhole in the base of the tree, just at eye level.
Oh, okay. Is there any way I can climb up the tree as a wolf? Gonna try and scrabble up wolf style?
I will give you a disadvantaged acrobatics or athletics check, whichever one you prefer.
It's pretty much a either or situation.
Beautiful. You never
Oh.
know, some people are better at some than others.
The skipper wish he hadn't burned that inspiration. That is a whopping 7.
All right, you watch as this awkward, like gangly-esque type of wolf with its legs just sprawled out begins to climb up the tree, and you get up like 2 branches before your back legs do not catch up with your front legs, and you swing and hit the ground. It's not high enough to do any damage, but enough to hurt your ego. Would anybody else like to try and scramble up the tree?
I would like to try something. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
You want to both go?
I would like to summon what any druidic power I might have from any of the pollen or spores still on me and attempt to wild shape into a different animal.
I like
squirrel.
this.
Like
I
a
like
squirrel.
this. This is what I would like from you. I'll let you pick. I will either accept a religion check as you kind of like take a moment to pray to your god. I will accept a nature check as you try and like get to be one with the ground and the druidic magic that is not quite around you, but you have discovered that the dome, while it is only a dome, it's not a sphere. So there is a little bit of magic at your feet. You can feel it in the ground, just a bit underneath the surface. Either one of those checks.
I'll go with nature.
Go for it.
Put it either. That's good. That 7.
7. You can feel, like, you can sense it and feel it. You feel like if you could get inspiration, maybe you might get closer to it. But it's a little outside of what you can pull up. Anybody else want to try anything?
I was gonna try and climb as well.
Okay, go ahead and make either an acrobatics or an athletics check for me.
Is it with disadvantage or just normal?
Yes, at disadvantage because you are a weird shaped wolf. Well, a normal shaped wolf. It's just weird for you.
20.
20, not bad. All right, you take a few moments and just kind of like center yourself, center your gravity, like yoga-esque, like let me strengthen my core and sit up straight kind of deal. And you find within that the ability to kind of awkwardly, it is not a beautiful climb or anything like that, but claw your way up to the point where if you extend your neck, you can kind of use your teeth to bite the key off of the branch without harming yourself, and awkwardly kind of like slide back down the tree, like nails out down. And you're on the ground without much damage, or without any damage, and the tree doesn't look like it's been harmed at all.
Which is good. Wouldn't want to harm the tree.
Yeah, it looks totally normal. Well, minus the fact that nothing has happened. There are no claw marks whatsoever on it. But you have it, and you are able to. I assume Skip points out with his wolf paw that there's a keyhole as well.
I will just, with the key in my mouth, kind of like put the key into the hole and just try and turn it or wiggle it in.
Yeah, it takes a little bit, but you're able to, without any necessary checks, you're able to kind of get that in there. And you watch as the tree itself, runes that you had not been able to see begin to light up this purplish pink, similar to the color that Marty saw when he cast detect magic on the orb. You watch as this happens, and at this point, you are all, by the way, about like a mile into it. As it lights up, you watch as it gets to the top and it turns a bright flash of purple extends. And immediately that orb that was around you begins to kind of like reverse garage door style, like go down. And the trees around you begin to disappear as well, looking again like a natural forest. You see a variety of different trees. You begin to hear nature. And as the orb hits the ground, you immediately revert into your given humanoid shapes and sizes. All of your magic feels like it is back. Your equipment is still on you, and you are now back in humanoid form.
Immediately start sneezing as the pollen once again covers my body. Oh, bugger. I kind of like that.
Not the first time I've been a wolf, or at least partial wolf.
Talk about walking in someone else's paws.
I didn't care for it. I gotta be honest with you. Not even a little bit.
No. It was definitely weird. But maybe we can actually find something now.
So,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. Did the tree door open up? Is that what happened, or did it just?
It released the magic that was creating the illusion, and that was holding you all in wolf forms. Okay. You now hear, as you say this, Elisha, looking for something or finding something. You hear river and you can see a lake about maybe 60 yards or 60 feet away from you, and a river a little bit further. In addition, your passive, what is your passive? Everyone's passive perception. If you have a 16 or better, raise your hand, please. All right. So, Elisha and Marty, you hear the very unsettling sound of a creature moving through the small bits of brush and grass that are on the ground. And you both hear it on either side of you. And both of you look in just enough time to see this large serpent-like creature, large fangs and almost like, I'm going to use the word antlers here, but that's not quite what I mean. It's kind of got horns on it with a large ruby in the center of its head. You both see one on either side of you. And because you had high enough passive perception, it does not get they don't get surprise attacks on you. So let's everybody go ahead and roll initiative for me. And in my games, I mean, you're welcome to fight, but I roll initiative so that we keep track of talking as well. So if you would like to try and parlay with the creatures, you are welcome to do that. Initiative doesn't have to be a fight. It just allows me to know who's doing what.
That's 7 for the skipper.
All right, so 7 for Skip. Okay. Chara, what'd you get?
15.
I'm so sorry, 15?
16.
16, there we go. 16 for Chara. Irma?
Also a 16.
Beautiful. Which one of you has what are your decks?
I have an 18 dex.
I have a 13, so I think Irma would go
So
first.
Irma goes first. All right, Lasha.
I got a 15.
Beautiful. And Marty.
Oh, a beautiful 11.
Beautiful. And let's see what I got. All right. So, Irma, your attention is drawn to both Elisha and Marty's faces as they look to either side of where your group is kind of huddled at this point in time by the base of a tree that is no longer. And you see these horned snake-like creatures. Each only about, I would say, from where you are, you could get to either of them. They're only about 20 or so feet out from you. So whichever one you would like, left or right.
Okay, so Irma sees these two things come out, and I immediately, I kind of grip my quarterstaff, my stick, and the pollen on my body begins to like vibrate and shake, and it begins to like come off of me in like waves and crests, and it then spreads out. The pollen spreads out along my staff, like hardening it and making it a magical weapon. That's actually my action, bonus action. So from there, I'm just going to kind of maneuver myself to get behind like a tree nearby to kind of be out of sight of these things.
All right. Are you looking to hide, or well, I guess you can't bonus action hide, but you're just looking to get some cover.
Yeah, just get some cover, get out of sight.
Yeah, easy enough. There's a pretty large stone or boulder that you're able to kind of like duck behind and peer out. So that is where you are. Beautiful. That brings us to Chara and Elisha. You're on deck. Chara, what would you like to do?
I'm actually going to try and speak with it.
Beautiful.
But I wondered, would it understand common?
And that is up to you to try and just
Okay.
you've never seen this creature.
Abner's. I'll cast Speak with Animals again.
All right, so you take your turn, your action to cast Speak with Animals, right?
Yeah, so I wouldn't be able to speak with it on my turn. I would have to wait for my next turn to speak with it. Be like,
I'll give you like 2 or 3 words after you cast it, your bonus action.
okay, so I'll just ask, friend or foe?
All right, it kind of rears back. You're not getting an indication it is necessarily your friend, but that is what you've discovered so far in your turn. All right, that brings us to Elisha with the creatures on deck.
I have favored enemy aberrations. Would I recognize this as an aberration?
It does not have the general signs of an aberration.
Okay.
It's definitely a different creature.
Okay. I will also attempt to speak with it.
Okay. Are you casting speak with animals?
No. I will say in Sylvan, Primordial, and Infernal, we mean no harm.
All right. Kind of quickly cycle through those languages as you say that phrase over and over again. It doesn't appear that the creature necessarily grasps humanoid language, whatever ones you. It doesn't there's no clear click in its eyes that it registers that you're speaking a language it understands. So either it doesn't understand I would say that you're intelligent enough to recognize that it doesn't understand language. It didn't even click being we're speaking different languages. It just didn't register that you were speaking. That makes sense.
Okay.
Anything else with your turn? Movement or anything? You are about 15, where you are, you're about 10, 15 feet away from the creature because you two are kind of on the ends of the group. Marty and Elisha were on the ends.
Yes. Seeing that it doesn't seem to understand me, I will draw my rapier and take a defensive stance.
Okay. Okay, so you get ready for an attack. Beautiful. Awesome. That brings us to the creatures. And then after them, Marty, you are up. So the creatures kind of look to your group, mostly to Marty and Elisha, as you were the two kind of on the outside of the group. And they're both going to take their attack. So first and foremost, I need Marty, Elisha, Irma, and Chara to make Constitution saving throws. As this creature now kind of moves into place, you see this green poisonous gas exuding from it and enveloping the areas in which you are all standing. Irma, as you dashed to the rock, you kind of got just on the outskirts of it. If you got less than, just for time purposes and asking, the Constitution saving throw is a 17 or better. If you succeed, you take half damage. If you fail, you're going to take full damage. And I just trust that you are going to do that without having to raise your hand if you fail, just so viewers can keep track of you all. Beautiful. All right, so full damage to Elisha, half damage to the rest of you. So that is 18 points of damage to Elisha, or 9 damage to the rest of you. All right. All right, it's going to take its multi-attack. So the first attack, you watch as the horns, it lowers its head, and one attack towards Marty and one attack towards Elisha. So Marty, you're going to have this dice. Elisha gets this dice. Elisha, a natural 20 on the attack from the one nearest you. Marty, it is going to be a 19 to hit on the attack.
That'll hit.
Okay. All right. Ooh, y'all, I'm so sorry. That's a lot. That's 2 max dice. So that's 10, 16. So 17 points of damage to Marty, and then 17, so 7 and 7 is 14. 34 points of damage to Elisha for a natural 20. Then it pulls back again, and you watch as it just releases its fangs. It's going to take another attack against each of you. They are going to take an attack against each of you. Elisha, I only got a 13 on your attack. And
that misses.
Okay, this time prepared, you move out of the way, it bites the air right next to you. Marty, that's a 23 to hit. I know. Oh, that's a 20. Okay. Marty, you take, oof, man, that is some max damage dice. I love my real dice some days. That is 20 points of piercing damage, and I need you to make another Constitution saving throw. My student, okay, so as you're doing this, my students, because I teach kids social skills through D&D, and so when I play, they call them my child killer dice, because when I start rolling really well, they're like, you're trying to kill us. It's like, guys.
I got a 24 on the con save.
All right, so there's a moment where you begin to feel this illness, this sickness try and force its way into you, but you push it out of your system and are okay for now. You watch as the heads pull back on the snakes that are around you, and they within your melee begin to kind of circle around you to get closer to Chara and to Skip. All right, that puts us at Marty's turn. Skip, you're on deck.
Yeah, Mario just go, whoa, guys, this is heavy. And he will... Yeah, he'll just go ahead and pull out a rod, and he'll throw a firebolt at the... there's two of them, so I'll just choose the one that's on his left.
Okay, so the one that's been kind of attacking you this whole time?
Right.
Beautiful.
That is a 26 to hit.
That hits.
That will be a D8. D8. Roll that. That is 7 plus 7, so 14 points of fire damage.
As you release, you watch as the fire kind of encapsulates this creature, and it definitely takes some damage, but you see it sort of shake off some of the damage as well.
Whoa, guys, this is heavy. We got... Oh. And he'll just run and try and kind of like make some movement behind a tree. He's not, he can't take a hide action or a bonus action or anything, but he can just try and get some cover.
All right, for purposes of this, we won't deal with like disengaging and opportunity attacks because that's silly. But yeah, so you kind of make your way around one of the trees and you feel like you've got a little bit of space there. Beautiful. Skip's turn, and then we're back at the top of the line with Irma.
Gosh dang, y'all. This got real quick. I'm going to go ahead and summon some help here and cast Spirit Guardians and pop those guys out. And then advance. That's an action. So then I will try and I'm just going to stand my ground. Then at that point, I don't have anything bonus action cantripy wise. So
beautiful. And they are both easily within the range of your Spirit Guardians, so that encapsulates both of them. All right, that is Irma's turn. Then we're at Chara with the creatures, or with Alasha on deck. Chara.
So I'm going to wait.
Is it Irma or?
Irma?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I said your name, so in my head that was your turn. Yeah, Irma and then Chara. That's how it works, right? All right, go ahead, Irma, and then Chara.
Yeah, so whichever one was attacked with the firebolts last time, I'm going to go for that one. I step out from behind the tree, and I kind of lift my hand, and some of the pollen flies off my hand onto that creature.
Okay.
This is a bonus action. This is technically Hex.
Yep.
I'm hexing it against Constitution abilities checks.
Okay.
Saves. And then I'm going to run up to it, and I'm going to take a swing at it with my shillelagh.
Beautiful.
That's probably this thing. 13 to hit.
You feel your shillelagh just bounce off the hard scales of this creature, not impacting it.
I take another swing with it. It's my second attack. That's a little better. 17 to hit.
Again, as you smack this creature, the thick scales take the bulk of the impact, and no damage is given.
Oh, then that stays where I am.
Okay. All right. Now it's Shara's turn with Alasha on deck.
So I'm going to take out my shield, which is just covered in vines and moss as well, and then take my longsword.
Okay.
And I'm going to attack.
Go for it. Which one are you? Are you
The
going
one
for the one that's
hit with the firebolt?
Beautiful.
Going for the weak one.
Beautiful. You spin around, sword out, ready to attack. Go for it.
Oh wait, I clicked damage. Sorry, that's not for hit. Okay, it's 23.
23 hits.
Okay, and I had clicked damage before, so can I use that damage roll?
Sure.
That damage roll is 12 damage.
12. Beautiful.
And I get two attacks, so I'm going to be attacking again.
Go for it.
With a 21.
That'll hit as well.
And that is 7 damage.
Awesome. All right, both of your attacks find their mark. You see small chunks of like the scale just picked off a little bit, but it still seems overall pretty hardy at this point. But all of your damage seems to have taken to the creature. Anything else with your turn?
That's the end of my turn. I'm just going to wait.
All right, so that brings us to Elasha with the creatures on deck.
All right, I am going to start out casting Hunter's Mark on the snake thing that attacked me.
Okay.
And then I am going to attack with my rapier.
Okay.
25 to hit.
That'll do it.
Get a D8 plus a D6.
Beautiful.
$14 damage.
Awesome.
And I am going to have my bees.
Which how long do they stay up for? Or are they forever?
Oh, they're an always there thing.
Beautiful. All right, so they kind of like form together as you call them.
And they will do an additional 1d6 damage.
Okay.
So that's another 2 points.
Beautiful.
And then I will take my second attack.
Beautiful.
18 to hit.
That just succeeds. You just feel yourself being able to kind of pierce through the armor of this creature, the natural armor.
Okay. And that is another another 13 damage.
Amazing. All right. Both of them are looking pretty equally damaged at this point. Just from my own memory, Mark is the thing that the hex, is that a concentration for your character, or does it just happen? Or
It's concentration.
okay, cool. Just trying to keep track. All right, beautiful. Elasha, as you pull your weapon back, ready to attack again, the creatures are up with Marty on deck. You are all now within its range as this aura is still emanating from it. You're doing your best not to breathe it in, but everybody go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw. 17 is your goal. 17 or better, please.
So the one that's next to me is in my range, and it has to make a Constitution save or take damage from my.
Beautiful. All right, let me do the damage first for the aura, and then we'll do Spiritual Guardians and yours as well. So if you got a 17 or better, you take half. Raise your hand if you succeeded. All right, everyone else is taking full damage. Why? I just lost track of where everything is. Here we go.
For the record, I have never rolled this good again, and my players are laughing all the way to the bank because they know this is all my good rolls for the entire next season. So sorry, guys.
I love it. Y'all, I rolled almost full damage for 3 out of the 4 dice. So 16 points of poison damage, halved to 8 for successes. And then, okay, Irma, what Constitution saving throw on theirs, and they're at disadvantage because of your hex, right?
Yeah, it's a 16 DC.
All right, so at disadvantage, we get a 17. Math is hard. So do it takes no damage or half?
Yeah, it takes no damage.
Okay, and for your Skip, what save is that for the Spirit Guardians?
16 DC, and it is a Spirit Guardians is a Wisdom saving throw.
Okay, they are not very wise. So this, the one closer to like Marty, the one that attacked Marty first, who's taken a bit of damage, that one gets a 15. The other one gets a 14.
So it's 24 points apiece.
Awesome. You watch as these creatures within the spiritual circle around Skip immediately just begin to kind of writhe as they take this invisible damage. So that's math. Okay, cool. They have no idea. Their intelligence is not really great, so they have no idea where it is coming from. So they are going to just kind of keep going. This time, Mark, Irma, they turn the one closest to you turns its attention to you, and the other one is going to turn its attention to Chara. All right.
Have to.
It doesn't have to, but it chooses to. So with its gore attack, as it narrows its, focuses its head down and its horns against Irma, that is a 20 non-natural, and against Chara, it is a 26 to hit. Okay. You take. Oh, that's not. These are low rolls. So 4. Only 11 points of damage each as they move to gore you, and then they pull back to also bite. Oof! I'm so sorry, Irma. This is also for me getting really great rolls. A natural 20 for Irma, and only a 14 against Chara.
Not hit.
Okay, so you block this attack, ready for it. Irma, unfortunately, you are off your balance as the horns kind of pull out of you. I need you to go ahead for me and make a Constitution saving throw. Dang, I'm so sorry. 14, so that's going to fail, and you are going to take 23 points. I rolled 2 very high numbers on my D10 of piercing damage. So let me make a note here. Beautiful. Okay, that is their turns. That brings us, and they kind of pull back, kind of holding in the same space. That brings us to Marty and then Skip.
Just by the way, I passed both Constitution saves for concentration checks on both of those. For the natural 20 on the big attack. So
beautiful. All right.
Yeah. So, how close is Marty to all of this?
You ducked away. I'd say you probably got about 15 or so feet out of the way. You were still within the cloud of it, which emanates about 20 feet, as you now kind of see. But you're about 15 feet away from the action.
I'm gonna take my full 30 feet of movement away from the action.
Beautiful. That gets you. You see the air clear up from that little green mist or fog that follows these creatures around as you get out of that.
I will turn around and I think at this point in time I'm just going to create an Eldritch Cannon, and that will conclude my turn at this point.
Okay, so you take your turn creating this. Oh, is it illusionary? Is it?
No, it's a little.
You just put it all together.
It's basically a gun.
Yeah. So you pull all the parts out of your bag real quick and start constructing. Beautiful. All right, that brings us then to Skip's turn.
Gosh diddly dang, y'all are all kind of hurt. So the skipper's going to bust out with the mass cure wounds. I may not catch Marty since he's skipped off to pull a gun.
He's about 45 feet away, but I think mass cure wounds, you can center it on a point and then it's like 30 feet out.
Yeah, it's a 30-foot radius, so I'm not hurt. I just want to make sure that I'm getting anybody who's injured in it as much as possible if you'll allow that. And
I would say you're smart enough, you've healed enough to know where to center it to include Marty in it. He's not so far out that you can't reach him and everyone else.
Cool, then that is 16 points of damage back to everybody.
No, not damage.
Healing. Negative damage. Negative. Skip, worshipping a death god. It's
Cure wounds and then wound again.
We think of it as negative damage.
I like negative damage. That works.
Negative damage, yeah. And I think that's pretty much going to do it for my turn then.
Okay, beautiful. All right, then that brings us back to the top of the line. Irma is up. Chara, you're on deck.
As far as I'm right next to one of these, where is the other one?
It's about, I would say, at most 15 feet, like kind of diagonally away from you on the, they're kind of basically surrounding the four of you as Marty kind of dashed off.
Okay, so I want to angle it so if it's within 15 feet of me, I'm going to angle so I can hit both of them, and I kind of pull all this pollen around me, and then I unleash it, and with a crack of thunder, and boom, pollen explodes off me, and a 15-foot cone hit both of these guys.
Easy enough.
As I cast a third level thunder wave.
Thunder wave, awesome. Does it hit everybody within that range?
If I have companions in there, then yeah, they would be. Hopefully they're not.
I'll say you yell to them to kind of scatter, and they kind of make enough space for you to be able to do this successfully because It's a charity stream. Nobody needs to die for realsies. Okay, what do they have to do to succeed or fail?
It is a con save 16. The one is at disadvantage. So.
Yep. All right. So the one in front of you is at disadvantage. Fails. That's a 3. Even with the modifier added in, that won't succeed. And then the other one is just regular. That's a 12.
Okay, so they both take 15 points of thunder damage.
Beautiful.
And they are pushed 10 feet away from me.
All right, so let me do the math here real quick. They're starting to look beat up. And as they kind of get pushed away from you, you watch as the cloud sort of shifts a little bit, although you're all still within the clouds of both of them. But you kind of watch as they move out of the way. Anything else with your turn?
Yeah, I'm going to use my bonus action to use a nimble escape as a goblin and move away and attempt to hide.
Okay, go for it. You find that boulder that you were hidden behind before, still available. Go ahead and make a stealth check for me.
There's a 19 stealth check.
All right. You feel pretty solid that after the thunder wave and the tumbling of serpents that they did not see you dash off. All right. That brings us to Chara's turn with Elasha on deck.
All right, so I'm going to, for my bonus action, I'm going to cast Ensnaring Strike.
Okay. Which one are you going for?
I'm going for the one that attacked me, so the one I'm right next to, I'm assuming.
Yep. Well, it got pushed a little bit away from you because of the thunder wave. But yeah, easy enough for you to take a step. If it has to be within a certain range, you can step towards it easily enough.
Yeah, so it's required to make a strength saving throw. DC is 14.
Alrighty. Oof. Even with our awesome strength, that only puts us at a 12.
Oh, wonderful. For me. Actually, is it a large creature?
It is a large
Okay,
creature.
so it has advantage, so you can roll again if you want to.
Rolled worse.
Oh, okay.
So 12 is the better of my 2 rolls.
So the creature is now restrained, and
Okay.
and then it also says that while restrained by a spell, the target takes 1d6 piercing damage at the start of each of its turns. So I guess.
Beautiful. So that you'll have to remember that for me, since that is your spell. But as long as you call it out when their turn starts, we'll deal damage.
Okay. And then I'm just gonna swing an attack while it's restrained.
All right.
All right.
Is Ensnaring Strike an action or a bonus action?
Bonus action.
Beautiful. Go for it. Attack away.
The attack roll was 23, and damage is.
You do get advantage because it's restrained. Just see if you get a natural 20. And 23 hits, but if you get a crit, then you get to double your damage.
No.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, always good to try. Always good to ask.
11 damage, and then I'm gonna attack again because I get 2 attacks.
Go for it. Second attack, an advantage as well.
It's a 24 versus natural.
Okay, 24 hits.
And that's also an 11 damage.
Nicely done. The one that now has these vines wrapped around it, it's looking pretty rough at this point. On its last proverbial leg, since it doesn't have any. Anything else with your turn, Chara?
No, that's it.
Okay, that brings us to Elasha with the creatures on deck. Oh, you are muted, Reen.
Thank you. I will start by recasting Hunter's Mark since I failed my concentration check.
Beautiful.
And then I will attack. Uh, 13.
13 does not hit as you try to pierce through its scales. You are unable to.
Okay, I will take my second attack.
Beautiful, go for it.
And that is a 21.
That'll do it.
And I will use my bees to add the extra d6, so that's a d8 plus 2d6.
Awesome.
$15 damage.
Amazing. And you were doing. So how would you like to kill this one, Elisha? As it's. Oh, and you would have had advantage on the attacks. It won't make much of a difference because it won't kill it. But I assume you're attacking the same one you'd been, which is the one that was restrained by Chara's vines. So how would you like to do that?
I will stab into it. The bees following my rapier in.
Oof.
And just all those piercings,
and you watch as that hole that you create with the rapier, the creatures, your bees kind of move within it, and I'm a little gross, but you watch they kind of come out the creature's mouth, coming back and forming around you as it just falls then lifeless, still kind of held up by the vines that Chara created, but limp within them. Well done, Elisha. You get 2 attacks, right? That was only your. Oh, you missed on your first one.
I missed on the first, but if I was supposed to have advantage, that would have been my second roll.
That's true. So as you do that, you can step over towards the other one that is still moving if you would like.
I would like to, yes.
Awesome. So this will be a straight roll as you attack this one.
I miss again. So.
All right, getting your footing, getting ready. The creature kind of sees you coming and moves out of the way. That brings us to that creature's turn, and it is going to look at Elisha. You just stepped over towards it, so it is going to take its attack at you. You watch again as the horns kind of point in your direction for an 18 to hit.
I will use my reaction to use Defensive Duelist to raise my armor class to 19.
Beautiful. All right. So as it goes to what would have been a normal hit, you kind of slash out at it and it parries off of your rapier and it pulls back for a bite attack against you with a 12. So that is not going to do it. All right. That is its turn. So after it goes, we are at Marty's turn. Skip, you're up next. Oh, yeah. And it takes... You're muted, my friend, but I do recall, I know what you're saying.
Yep. He's got to do another wisdom save.
Gets a 15?
That will not do it. So that's another 14 there from the ghostly skips just pounding away.
All right, beautiful. Irma, does it take anything because it's within your range as well? Does it have to do anything, or is that just
my aura dropped and I took all that damage.
All right, perfect. Well, not perfect, but perfect. All right, so yes, now we're at Marty's turn with Skip on deck.
Marty will just kind of take a deep breath, come out from around the tree, point his rod up at the remaining beast and cast a firebolt. Oh, this is only a 13. It goes astray.
Yes, you now see as like it being the only creature left, there's a group, your companions have kind of gathered around it, and as you're trying to not hit them and only hit the creature, your shot goes a little bit wide.
And then I'll fire a blast from the Eldritch Cannon, and that's a 19 hit.
That'll do it.
All right, that is... $13 points of damage.
What kind of damage does that do?
That is an excellent question.
Thank you.
Force damage.
Force, yeah, that'll take it. So 14, you said?
13.
13.
If I said 14, I was wrong. It's 13.
Liar. You watch now, especially those of you who are around it, as the Eldritch energy hits it. It looks pretty beat up. Anything else with your turn, Marty?
No, I'll just move about 50 feet away and hide behind another tree.
Beautiful. All right, Skip, we're up to your turn, and if need be, we'll start back at the top line with Irma.
I'm going to go ahead and pop a spiritual weapon as a bonus action over by it, and have it roll the hit as I advance and attack it with my Warhammer as well.
Awesome.
So that's a 15 for the spiritual weapon.
15 does not hit as your spiritual weapon tries to cleave through it. It unfortunately cannot pierce through its natural armor.
And then another 15 for my Warhammer. So still working on that swing, gang. Still working on that swing.
You know, there's a lot of allies to dodge and not hit. All right, that takes us from Irma's turn to Chara and then Alasha.
Oh no, Irma has to go, right?
Oh my gosh, Irma, I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. It is not that I don't want you to go. It is just how my brain works. All right, Irma, you're up then, Chara.
The one that died, was that the one that was hexed?
No, that was not the one that was hexed.
Okay,
The one
then,
that's hexed is still alive.
I want to get up next to this one then. Was I hidden from it successfully to get advantage?
Yeah, you were. You were well hidden behind a rock.
Okay, so first attack. Oh, that's pretty good. A 21.
That'll hit.
Okay, I'm going to do a stunning strike with this, so it's going to make a con save of
Okay.
16.
Go ahead and roll your damage first, to be honest with you. It's not looking great. It might not have a
So
con save to
it's-
make.
8 points of bludgeoning and 1 point of necrotic.
How would you like to do this?
Irma just runs out from behind this tree and just kind of uses his pole to like pull the up into the air and then come down with it and just crack it on the skull and then drop my stick and just start biting it, chewing on its neck as it falls dead.
Beautiful. This battle is brought to you by the Creature Codex. I know that Kobold Press has been an amazing sponsor. And this is a horned serpent, which you can find in the Creature Codex if you're curious and watching at home. It actually does a few other things than what I had it do, so I didn't kill y'all outright. So yeah,
Thanks for that.
awesome. Hey, you're welcome. I have your best interest in mind, sort of. Okay, so as Irma is just like gnawing on this hard scales that have kind of like been ripped and broken apart from the damage, what would you all like to do, as it seems like for now the land around you has settled and nothing else is making its way out towards you?
So where did this horned serpent appear from? Because once we turned the key, it kind of appeared. So where was it?
You're all, now that you actually have a chance to kind of settle and look around you without worrying about your lives being ending, you all get the feeling that this illusion kind of was not only an illusion for you all, but the things living within this area were also unable to see you. Like, both of you existed in the same space, but neither of you all could see each other. So just as you dropped the illusion, it alerted these creatures that you were within its space.
Is everybody doing okay? I got need to break out the first aid kit for anybody else there. I can kind of bump you up a little bit real quick.
Irma kind of raises my hand and some of the spores start swirling around it, and then I throw it onto the ground and there's a little whirlwind of spores, which is a healing spirit. If anyone needs healing, you can step into it, take a d6.
Yes, I will do that.
So I'm going to take.
Irma, settled within your lungs, within your chest, is this wetness, this you're used to kind of feeling congested from the spores being around you all the time, but this feels heavier and you start coughing a little bit from it.
Okay, it's just what I need.
Is this
Something else,
normal?
just
Is
a
this
little
part of
bit.
your allergies or?
No, this is new, right?
Can I do a medicine check on him to see if he's potentially got a lingering effect from being snake gassed? Hold on.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's a 19.
There's something. You look at the bite, you look at the wound where the one of the bites actually penetrated pretty deeply, and you definitely see some infection. There's like some significant redness and swollen, and even you see almost like this like green ooze. If you don't like body, we'll leave it at that. But yeah, there's definitely something there.
That's I think that's going to leave a mark there, buddy. That it's not looking very good.
Your guy, Kellen Boy, can do anything about this?
Unfortunately, while I can do some negative damage, I'm not too great with the poisons. I got to be honest with you.
As you're all kind of figuring out what's going on with Irma, as well as did everybody take the healing if they needed it, the D6 worth of healing? You do now notice about no more than 100 feet away a hill with some stairs leading up to it, and this big open veranda might not be the right word, but this big open space. There are three 3 statues up there and a large stone table with chairs.
So I would actually like to try to cast Lesser Restoration on myself and see if this cures the poison or disease that's afflicting.
Yeah, you cast Lesser Restoration on yourself, and unfortunately, that cough is still lingering deep within your lungs. Just as the DM, does anybody want to take any sort of rest or anything before we proceed forward? I like to remind people of this.
Yeah, I will bust out my matron's mug and chug a refreshing frosty beverage, and I believe that restores. Choose to recover 1 expended spell slot by spending a number of hit dice equal to the spell slot's level up to a maximum of 5. So I'll go ahead and burn 5 hit dice to get my 5th level spell slot.
Okay, beautiful. So you are 5 fewer hit dice, but you have a 5th level spell slot back for you. Anybody else want to do anything?
Yeah, I'm basically going to do the same. Just take if we're allowed to take a short rest, I'll just take a short rest.
Yeah, you're all welcome to take a short rest.
It's a bit of a rest.
Everybody except for Irma can spend as many hit dice as they have to heal themselves. You add your Constitution modifier. Irma, you are coughing so much that you cannot get settled. You cannot. You sit, and for a moment you begin to try your hardest to heal yourself, and then suddenly you're volatile, just coughing, your body shaking again.
Oh, this is just great. Oh, God. I thought it was bad before.
If I cure wounds him, is it the same thing as if him trying to heal it himself, or?
Cure wounds is different. So cure wounds is magic. The short rest is you attending to your wounds and trying to relax, which Irma cannot do. But you can heal him with magic, yeah.
Irma, you're still injured, correct? You're not topped off?
Yeah, I took a little bit of healing off the healing spirit, but I'm still at 48 hit points, so 73.
Okay. I will hit him with a 3rd level cure wounds then for 17.
Beautiful. All right. Again, you can spend, like I said, as many hit points up to 10 hit dice or 5 for Skip since he used his. Make sure you add, it'll add your Constitution in for you on D&D Beyond if you hit short rest and then do that. So.
I got no benefits from a short rest, so a cloud shape didn't come out.
I'm sorry.
I got no benefits of a short rest? Okay.
Nope. While everybody's kind of sitting quietly, you're just over there coughing and coughing and coughing. What would you all like to do now that about an hour has passed? You've all tended to your wounds.
Would lay on hands work for Irma's situation?
Can you
maybe disease or neutralize a poison affecting the creature?
And I tried Lesser Restoration, which would have done that as well.
Yeah, you before you use your lay on hands, just kind of looking at, and now you can see Irma after about an hour has passed, and those of you who are looking at his wound, it's starting to blacken, like that greenish color that Skip saw earlier is now beginning to like blacken in the space where the fangs hit you.
Like necrotic damage?
Yes. It's small. It's a small space right now, but it's still more than it was when you were originally attacked.
What to the one that bit me? I want to go over to it. Are we still near the corpses?
Sure.
Okay, I want to spend a minute to cast Animate Dead on it and raise that bastard.
Okay.
To have it as my pet now.
All right.
You have a pet horned serpent now?
Yeah.
Are there any guide rules or guidelines on
never
that?
mind. You said it's large, right?
It is. I was like, I mean, I'm fine giving you a snake, but this thing is like a lot of hit points.
It's got a medium or small.
Okay. Yeah, you look at it, and as you just kind of kick it as you're disappointed that you can't have it as your own.
Yeah, just coughing. I keep kicking it and coughing it and beating on it.
All right. You do all. It's beginning to rain just a little bit. A light drizzle has started to fall through the canopy and into the woods where you all are. And again, about 100 feet out stands a hill, and on top of the hill appears to be this space. There are 3 statues and a large stone table.
Let's go check out the statues and table there, folks. Right, we were looking for a table.
Yeah, sounds great to me. And Marty will go over and try and help Irma, just kind of, I guess, give him a shoulder to kind of lean on.
Oh,
All right.
appreciate it, mate. Just leave me to die, right? Just end it already. I've had enough.
Hopefully we can find something that helps you out over there.
All right. As you begin to kind of make your journey through Marty supporting Irma, you find yourself at the base of about what looks to be about 20 or so stairs kind of chunked into this hill to walk up. Who is you can fit two across the stairs. Who's taking point? Who's up front?
I can take point again.
All right.
I'll be next to her. You said 2 per. I'll just be right next to Elisha.
All right. And then do we have Marty and Irma?
Yeah.
Or are you guys in the back?
No, yeah, we'll be in the back. We'll
Yeah,
just
in the back.
come
So
upstairs.
Skip's in the middle, and then all right. So Chara and Elisha, as the 2 of you kind of crest over that top stair before everyone else, you see this long solid stone table. It is carved to look like a table, though. It's got legs in it or on it, but it is solid stone. There are 7 chairs sitting around it. There are 3 on one side, 2 on the other, and then 1 at either head of the table. And then directly behind it, you see 3 statues. The leftmost statue appears to be some sort of jackal type creature. The middle one looks to be a hyena, and the one on the right, as you're looking at them, appears to be a lion. At the base of each of these statues, there is a kind of carved out hole, and you now notice that on the table there are 3 stones that look like they would fit perfectly into the hole. One of the stones says truth, 1 says wisdom, and 1 says falsehood.
A lion, a hyena, and what was the other?
A jackal. So again, as you're looking at them, the left one is the jackal, the middle one is the hyena, and then the one on the right is the lion. Again, assuming that you've all kind of just gathered at the very entrance of this space at the table looking inward. If you choose to move around, please let me know.
So you're saying that there are holes at the base of each one, and then there are stones that could potentially fit those holes?
Yep, those stones are sitting on the table, and you can kind of see as you crested over the top and took a couple of steps forward. They're not very big. They're like brick size, I would say. No more than like a size of a brick.
All the same size, same color?
Same size, same color. The only difference is what is carved into the wood, or into the stone.
I suppose we pick one, or do we use all 3?
I would guess maybe we're supposed to put 1 in each statue.
Yeah, that's what I would be thinking.
But which one goes to which?
Can I go take a look at the chairs to see if there's anything on the chairs?
Beautiful. So Skip, as you kind of step forward, the statues animate, and you see their eyes kind of not light up, but you see them like stone eyes kind of shift side to side. And the first one says, the jackal says, "One of us is called Truth and always speaks the truth. One is called Falsehood and always tells lies. And of course, one is called Wisdom and sometimes speaks the truth and sometimes lies." The middle one, the hyena, animates. "Prove to us your guile and tell us who is who from our clues." The lion says, "If you answer correctly, we shall tell you what you need to do in order to receive the item you seek." They all kind of pause for a brief moment, and then once again going back over to the jackal. And it says, "The hyena is truth." The hyena says, "Ah, I am truth." And the lion says, "The jackal is truth." And then they all stop, and the little spaces, the little like alcoves where you can insert the brick, the stone brick looking things, all kind of glow. I will copy and paste this into our Zoom chat for y'all because I'm nice like that. And I am a visual learner, so. All right, as they begin to think about this, I told them earlier that I am very kind as a DM and I love to let intelligence checks happen. And I am certain one or more of them would be happy to have an inspiration dice as they try and make intelligence checks to solve this riddle and hopefully bring peace talks to their lands. So I know that we are at $4,150, so awesome. Thank y'all for your donations. And if any of you are able to donate for inspiration dice for any of our players, I'm sure they would greatly appreciate it, looking at their stumped faces right now. Listen, I asked them what type of players they were. I was like, do you like fighting? Do you like role-playing? Do you like puzzles? And they're all like, we don't care. And I was like, okay, well, we're playing my way now.
Totally left ourselves open.
Do they respond to us if we speak to them?
They do not. They are frozen still as statues again. And we wait.
So you said we can cast intelligence checks?
So the way I usually do this, again, this is sort of like, making strength checks to move a boulder. I will allow 2 intelligence rolls. So whichever 2 of you would like to make intelligence rolls as a hint for if you can glean information, I will.
Irma has very low intelligence, so he was sitting aside.
I'm sitting at a 20, so I'm happy to do a roll.
Right, Marty, you begin to pour over the information laid out in front of you. Go ahead and make an intelligence check to see if you can glean any clues.
Oh, that did not go well. I am totally stumped. I got an 8.
All right, yeah, looking over this, unfortunately, nothing jumps out at you. Would anyone else like to make an intelligence check?
I'll try.
All right, Chara.
That was a 7.
A 7. Unfortunately, as you ponder over, you are unable to come up with anything right yet. But as the DM, if you all begin to interact with each other, I might start talking, thinking about ideas. If you hit something, I might say.
Okay, just sketching it out real quick, guys. We've got the jackal saying that the hyena is truth, right? The hyena saying that they're truth, and then the lion saying that the jackal is truth. So we've got, if the hyena is telling the truth, and it's that makes it a true statement, that would make the jackal statement false, which would make it a liar, which we're still okay. But that would also make the lion statement false, which would technically still be okay because we aren't locked into a binary situation there. So that would mean the lion would be wisdom, the jackal would be falsehood, and the hyena would be truth, because that gives us a true, false, false. I drew a picture.
I love it. And as excitement for this, we do have Tactical Bacon donated an inspiration dice to Mark. So Mark, you do have that for whenever you would like to. Thank you, Tactical Bacon, so much for your donation. That's awesome.
Well,
all right, so Skip has a plan.
The other would saying that the jackal says that the hyena is truth, and then the hyena also saying, wouldn't it also be that the jackal could be wisdom and the hyena could be falsehood? I'm convinced that the lion is truth.
So if the jackal said, if the
lion
jackal
couldn't be truth because he's saying the jackal is truth.
Right. So if the jackal is wisdom, that would make the lion statement false.
Why would it make?
Because the lion said the jackal is truth.
Oh, it's truth. Oh, okay. I thought I was. My bad.
As you're kind of, as I promised, hearing you all talk is exciting and encouraging. So as you're kind of talking through this, you are getting the feeling. You're getting the feeling like just saying it out loud, lion, sort of already given you kind of a, as you say it over and over and over again. Marty, you're like, hey, wait a second, as you're saying lion.
Oh. There you go. So that would be falsehood, which means that...
Would a lion be lying?
Look, yeah, just give me the rocks, and tell her where to put them, and if anything bad happens, it happens to me, I'm done for anyway.
Not with that attitude.
I'm dying here. I'm still coughing, right?
You are still coughing, and it's kind of like you all appreciate Irma and respect Irma, but as you're trying to get big brain here, and Irma's just coughing, you're like, hey, so you're coughing an awful lot, and it's hard to concentrate.
Could you stop?
Yeah, if you want to just cut me throat, just put me out of misery.
Probably have to ask Skip for that.
I'll take one of them pamphlets now. I think I'm gonna need it.
Yes, well, we can arrange that, but let's try and get our table knocked out here first. Plus, I'm pretty sure they bought you the inspiration die, so we need you to stick around just for a moment.
This is true. No dying yet. Use that inspiration first.
You're favored for at least until you make that roll. So if the lion is falsehood, that would make its statement about the jackal false, which would mean we would know the jackal is not truth, right? Which leaves wisdom or truth for the jackal, right? Which it says the hyena is truth, which if it were wisdom, it could lie about, which would make the hyena statement about...
Marty, go ahead and make another intelligence check for me. You're getting there. Skip already said it. Skip said it and then kept talking. And I was like, you just said the answer. And then you just kept going. So, Marty, go ahead and let me know what you got.
Oh, it's not possible for Marty just to say, I heard you say it. That's it.
I want to see how well you're paying attention to what Marty is, or to what Skip is saying.
22.
You're paying close attention. So, Skip, you're saying, okay, so the lion is lying and is falsehood. Thus, when it says the jackal is truth, there's no way that is true. So that would mean that the jackal can't be truth, and you only have two options.
The hyena
so that would make it.
Because he's saying it's truth. He's true.
Oh. Which means the jackal is wisdom.
Just give him to me, and I go and I put him in that order, right?
Okay. As you're doing that, just thank you so much, Neofet. Neofet donated for an inspiration for Rain to have. Awesome. Thank you so much for your donation. Okay, so Irma, you take. So where are you putting them? Who's telling Irma where to put them?
Hyena, putting truth for hyena.
Okay.
Yes.
Wisdom for jackal, and then falsehood for lion.
Beautiful. All right, y'all. Well done. As you Oh, you're gonna hate
I
me.
put the stones there and I just go back and I'm like, oh, take me, take me.
Yep. As you do that, I need everyone who is standing on the platform, which I believe is all of you. You watch as the hyena opens its mouth and releases a poisonous gas. I need everyone to make a DC 11 con save, please. That was a bad roll. This is what it should have rolled in.
I finally passed the con save.
Yay!
You
Did
said
anyone?
inspiration is a D6, right?
D6.
I
Correct.
failed.
Use that.
I failed.
Okay, so Skip, you just inhale the poison.
Oh
Excited.
gosh, smells minty.
Exactly. Who else? Anyone else fail? 11 or less than an 11?
I passed with the inspiration die. I got a 14.
Oh.
So
I passed.
thank you for that.
Okay. So you all see this coming and kind of like cover your face with your sleeves and hands, except for Skip, who's still kind of like excitedly working out. Like, oh yeah, that's where all that goes.
It's victory gas.
I rolled so low though, so you only take 4 points of poison damage. Everyone else halves it, so 2 points for the success. And then as you're kind of waiting, you watch as the jackal opens its mouth and blows powerfully this wind at you all. And I need you to make strength saving throws, please. You are at disadvantage, Skip, because you are poisoned. Oh my goodness, these are low rolls on damage dice, which is good for you all.
A natural 20, so 24.
Okay, yeah, same deal. 11 or better, you succeed. If you've got less than an 11, raise your hand for me, please. Skip and Rain, you do have an inspiration die of a D6 if that will help you. If not, you don't have to spend it.
Might. I rolled an 8 to start with.
Okay, so you need a 3. Oh no! Well, we still thank you, Neopet. All right, so the two of you are pushed backwards into this invisible wall that is kind of surrounding this platform that you're on. 6 points of damage to you all, and you're prone. 3 points to those of you who succeed, just as you feel the gust. And last but not least, the lion laughs loudly and says to you all, I am a liar. And I said, if you correctly put everything where it goes, I will tell you what you need to succeed. You followed my instructions to a T. And this warm flame jets out of its mouth. Dexterity saving throws, disadvantage to my prone friends, which would be Alasha and Skip. 11 or better succeeds. And if you get an 11 or better, you have the damage. Ooh, that's a good roll. So that's 12 points of damage if you failed, or 6 if you succeeded. And then the stones immediately, or the statues immediately become inanimate again, and you watch as kind of just freezes in place. Okay. A little bruised and beaten, a little sad that you forgot the second or the first part of the riddle, which I was really hoping you would. The table begins to hum, and you all hear within your minds, why don't you have a seat, and we'll see if you're worthy.
Well, it can't help it, or it can't hurt much more at this point.
Not much left to lose. I guess I'll go and have a seat.
Irma sits down and puts his dirty palm-covered feet up on the table.
Beautiful.
I sit down.
Yep.
Right. As you all begin to sit, you feel these ghostly apparitions kind of form around you, kind of seatbelting you into the table, into the chair. Nothing physically visible in front of you, but you can feel the pressure and the weight of it on your body, around your hips and around your chest. And as you're kind of pulled into place, you hear a voice. Well. Welcome. And as you look around, you now see another illusion begin to fade. And scattered across this space are just bones, skeletal bones. Some crunched from being walked upon, others still relatively in decent condition for bones. And the voice says, "You can have anything you want. I can provide it for you. You just have to say the word, and your dreams could come true." And then a moment later, you hear, or with just a bit of honesty, you could have the item you came here for. I will grant it to you, I promise. Don't give in. Do not fight. Please, anything, just don't give in. And the voice comes back, the deeper voice comes back and says, riches, fame, fortune, perhaps a cure for your disease. I can give it to you, and you can walk out of here a richer, healthier, better version of yourself. And I need you all to make wisdom saving throws.
Say nat 20, so 28.
28, Chara.
23.
Beautiful. Irma.
2.
I'm so sorry.
22.
22. Okay. Beautiful. Marty.
5.
Okay. And Alasha.
22.
All right.
Marty, no.
Lasha, Skip, Chara, and Irma. While you hear this voice in your head granting you health or riches or a safe forest, you get the feeling that you would have to sacrifice a piece of yourself, a piece of what makes you who you are, in order to gain this wealth or whatever it is you're searching for. However, you truly believe that if you were honest, if you shared a piece of who you truly are with those at the table right now, you could walk out of here with that item that you came here for. Marty, unfortunately. The promise of new items to tinker with, the promise of even more powerful magic to upgrade items to even cooler things than what you're able to create right now is very alluring. And you are not feeling so inclined to be honest about who you are and what you're doing. You are feeling like if you could get what you want, you could walk out of here with or without these people. It doesn't matter. What would you all like to do?
So it's asking for us to tell one of our, like, give up a secret, basically? Is that
Tell a truth about what makes you you.
All right. Well, then Skip will speak up. He goes, guys, if I'm being honest, I tell everybody that my kid's mom is in a better place, and they just assume that means she passed. But I really mean the Sword Coast. She ran off with her yoga instructor and left the skipper to raise the boys by himself. And, since I'm a death cleric, they all just assume she passed, and it's one of those things. But I just never got over it,
You feel the invisible pieces, the invisible weight that is holding you down, let go. And you watch as the chair that Skip is sitting on glows this beautiful pinkish purple.
Yeah, right. I'll go next then. So between my coughs, I'm still coughing, right?
Oh, yeah.
Is my wound turning blacker and blacker?
It hasn't been that long since everything happened, so not too much.
I need some truth for you. Some years ago, right, I got this curse, this dusty druid, right, he came into my woods, yeah? And I attacked him, right? I split his head like a pumpkin with my stick, yeah? Now, the truth of that is, I don't regret it, but I do regret the consequences. I'd do anything at all to be rid of this.
All right.
I don't trust this. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Said I don't trust voices that make promises. And I feel like if I do something significant to redeem myself, then this curse will go away on its own. And I got faith in that.
All right. And you too feel that invisible restraints lighten up, and you all watch as Irma's chair glows that same pinkish purple.
I suppose I can go next. I actually used to fight in the war, but having lost many of my comrades, I felt that it was best to remove myself and made myself a quaint little home in the woods. But it seems that I couldn't escape the war, as that it still followed me into the forest, and deforestation started begin to happen. So I guess hopefully if we find what we're looking for, I can put an end to all of it.
Right, and the same experience, the restraints lighten, your chair glows this pinkish purple. As this is going on, Marty, you are half hearing what your traveling companions are saying, and you're half hearing in your head. They don't care. They'll abandon you. You'll disperse after you finish this anyways. Why not get what is best for you? Why not take something from this that will make you more powerful, better, richer, smarter? I don't care. And you look and see in one of the empty seats a devilish-like creature, sitting much like Irma, actually, with his feet up on the table. This like reddish-black skin, arms kind of just crossed across his chest, kind of smiling at you. And you can see in his hands he has these beautiful tinkering tools around him, like around the base of the chair that he is sitting at. You see all of these like different scrap pieces and mechanical items.
Yeah. Does anyone? Do any of them look like? Do any of them look like they could allow for time travel?
You'd probably have to request such a thing. Actually, as you think that, you watch as this creature procures this like blueprint in his hands. I could just give this to you if you would like. Think it would help you.
Not quite seeing what he's looking for. I don't think he's so easily enticed.
All right, go ahead and make. Well, actually, Alasha. As this is Marty, as you're seeing all this, your companions have all shared a truth about themselves. What would you like to do?
I will share. Honestly, I don't think there's anything that voice could give me. I've always been just happiest in my little home, raising my bees. So if this war ends and I can go back to raising my bees, making honey, I've lived that life for 300 years. I'd love to do it for another 300.
And as you kind of settle in, taking a deep breath, again, the restraints lift, your chair glows, and you see now the four of you see in the other empty seat. Actually, another creature that could maybe be a tiefling of some sort, but they have a kind of greenish hue to their skin, arms also crossed. Your friend there, if you just remind him of the good that can come of this, he might be able to come back, but I'm afraid my friend has sort of got in his head that he could, discover time travel or something, get out of here, versus helping end the war, which I believe is your cause. So do none of you have nothing nice to say about Marty?
He's a smart little fella, I think. I like his glasses.
All right. Marty, go ahead and make a wisdom throw with advantage.
First one was not all that great.
We know the second one's gonna be great.
Second one was twice the first one. The first one was a 4.
So 8?
Yeah.
You watch as Marty's eyes glance, taking you all in for the first time since those restraints have kind of taken over. Does anybody else have anything nice they'd like to say about Marty? Or anything else you'd like to do? What would you like to
We
try?
couldn't have taken down the Horned Serpent without him blasting away with a firebolt.
That's true.
He's got a cannon.
That's true. Marty, go ahead and roll again with advantage, and I'll give you inspiration because these guys are these people at your table are so inspiring. So go ahead and add a d6 to whatever you roll. We're gonna get you out of this.
Can I give him guidance too? Because I did say I was going to give him guidance for Journey earlier.
Absolutely, d4 to your roll as well.
My base roll was a 17, and
Beautiful.
I can add the 4, the d4, just to make sure that we make it there. So that's 19 total.
Awesome. So you watch, Marty, as the illusions begin to fade of this, the blueprints and the tinkering tools, and your chair turns that purplish pink as well, and you watch as the table begins to glow and part, and up rises this gorgeous bowling ball sized purple and pink orb. And you hear and now, Marty, you can also see this other green-skinned creature, and they say to you, well, this should be what you're looking for, an orb of truth for a peace negotiation. I do wish you the very best, and don't tell anyone we're here. And you watch as they vanish in front of you.
Nice talking to you.
All right, so you are able to take the orb and get very safely out of this space. It feels as though the spirits of the woods are watching you all and making sure you get home safely with their item. And upon your arrival back, Zindoth cheers, is surprised to see you all alive, but tries to kind of cover it up as best she can. And you each receive for your hard work 20 gold pieces to do with what you please, and a promise to Elasha that you'll get a space, a clean space for your bees, and Shara that your woods will remain a safe space from hunting, and Marty supplies and access to the world's greatest libraries to do your research for your tinkering and creations. Irma, a healer is brought to you. So just so y'all know, because again, I'm just going to tote this Creature Codex and Kobold Press. The way this works is every day you have to make a Constitution saving throw, or you take 48 necrotic damage and your hit points are reduced by that until you are Greater Restoration, which they find somebody a healer to cast Greater Restoration upon you. Skip, what do you desire? You get a nice place to make trail mix. There's a gorgeous home for trail mix making. Anything else?
Well, that's the beauty of being a death cleric. I'm gonna get what I want eventually.
This is true. This is true. You are all thanked so much for your help. And in the preceding year, the war slowly, treaties and peace treaties are made. And all thanks to your help, the war does come to an end over the next year. So thank you all so much for hanging out with me today and dealing with my riddles, because I had about 3 more pulled up just in case you were quick at riddles, because y'all said that you didn't care how he played. So I believe that this is where we are at for the night. This is where our game ends. Thank you to our heroes, our adventurers, for helping end the war. Turner, you're up.
Yeah, guys. Once again, I'm Turner from the Gimme the Loot podcast. You can find us at GMDLcast on Twitter. Thanks for having me, guys. It's a great cause. Thank you to everybody who participated.
Awesome. Anybody else have anything else, any plugs that they would like to make? And then I will wrap us out here with a couple little things. Anybody else plugs where we can find you? Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you so much to the Games Tavern for having all of us on. Thank you. Please don't forget to subscribe to their YouTube channel. Subscribing is free and another way to give you access to all of the action and the show's contents. Likes and positive comments always obviously lift people up and make them feel amazing. And I believe we have a giveaway winner? ? standing by for a giveaway winner while we do that. Let me see how that's. We also are at $4,250 donated so far to Feeding Hungry Kids, which is amazing. That's going to create 42,500 nutritious meals, y'all. Give yourselves a round of applause or a pat on the back for that. That's amazing. It gets better as well because we have actually hit the $1,000 donation from Shard Tabletop as well. So that's actually $5,250. So amazing. And I believe that we have one more adventure tonight, but I'm going to wait for John to make sure that that is right.
Hey, real quick, sorry about that. Don't forget to subscribe, gang, to the Game Tavern's YouTube channel right now. Subscribing is free. You don't miss any of the action and access to all of the shows and content. Your likes and positive comments on the videos gives a boost and helps future Tavern Raiders find out about the shows. Sorry about that. My system crashed, took out my document.
You're fine. I'm reading through it. It's all good. I figure you guys have done a lot of, this because puzzles. Awesome. And I think we have a winner. Who would like to, let's see. It looks like 1021 has won. So what does that say? Congratulations. And the Tech Goblins are going to reach out to you to gather your information. 1021. Yikes. I love that name, even if I will get stuck on it. Okay. Who would like to announce the next game? Who wants to do it? Who wants to? Come on, somebody announce it. Do it. You're amazing.
That's Kyle, but I don't know who Kyle is.
I don't know either. Brian. It says Brian now in my head, so go ahead and read it.
Oh, well, yours must be faster than mine. It says, be sure to check out An Evening with Shard coming up next right here after the break.
Thank you all so much for your support. Thanks for coming out. We really appreciate it, and we will see you for the next game.
Thank you, Rosie.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thanks everybody.